everything. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, man. We're actually live right now. That's some good
Welcome,
music
welcome,
you got there,
people.
man.
It is some good music.
What do
It's
you got going
Bufo on
on?
the beat.
Who?
And Bufo on the beat.
I
Bufo
thought it
on
was
the
Buffo
beat.
in the beat.
Yeah, but when he says it in the song, it sounds like Bufo. So
Right.
it could be Buffo. Maybe we should just go with Buffo for the time being.
Right.
But either way, check out Buffo on the beat on Audius because he has some dope tunes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually true. Buffo's actually no. Is it Buffo or Buffo? Huh?
This is a great question that
We need his.
needs answers.
We need confirmation. He's actually in the chat here, man. But I would just like first. I would like to address first the fact that we clearly got shades on, right? So something off here. We're discussing, me and Brendan, before this. We're saying that because we see ourselves on the screen here, there's like too much light coming off, too much glow, and we're just
Right.
trying to focus here. So
No, I completely agree.
we look
Completely agree.
too douchey, man.
I think we look the exact right amount of douchey. In fact,
You think so?
I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Am I not? I am.
Are you?
Yeah, yeah. Can you guys see
Doesn't
us?
seem
Yeah,
like a
people are
mine.
saying, man, what are you, blind? People are saying, there you go.
I can't see anything with these shades.
I think we're good, man. People are talking about the shades and stuff. What are you talking about?
Okay, shit. All right, it's just me then.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna discuss the market right now. Thank you for joining in. We'll let the millions and billions of viewers, jump on this. What do we have here? Mark, yesterday you all said that if we drop below 30, it's bad for times. Do you still feel that way? We are teetering on the edge at the moment, and anytime it runs, it gets squashed. The volume is just not there. So it definitely is a valid concern, in my opinion, man.
What price level did they mention?
The 33,500. Apparently, that's what we talked about. So let's just take a look at it. That's the
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah, we're referring to one of the previous lows around 33,000, 33,500. And so we did have a breakout on some charts
Right.
that didn't have continuation. So either way you slice it, it was a weak breakout and we're looking not good. Yeah, it's not looking good, folks. And I mean, if you consider the fact that we're going into the weekend soon here, it's extra no bueno.
Definitely.
Because weekends have been typically no bueno.
That's true. That's what I'm looking at. That's we're pushing towards that right now. Yesterday we had that monthly close. I'm sharing my screen now. Let me know whenever you want to share yours. But overall, yeah. So we're pushing up. We had some sort of breakout. We were waiting for some sort of retest, which we saw happening here. I'm looking at the 4 hour. We saw 8 hours of movement to the upside, and now it looks like we're pushing back down below those lower levels, man. So what do you think is going on right now?
Well, I mean, I think it's what?
Someone said you look like Ron Jeremy. You definitely look swagged up.
It is what it is, man.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Like people, I try not to focus on like superficial stuff, and people often like to point out, like my great qualities, and sometimes it just gets annoying at a certain point, right? Like it gets a bit much. And look, this is something I've had to live with, so I've grown to kind of like accept it. But it never stops being annoying.
Yeah,
yes, go ahead.
We're getting roasted in the chats, man. Someone's saying, "Are those the same?" That's Buffo. Are those the same Ray-Bans that Sylvester Stallone used in the movie Cobra?
It may well be.
Margaret,
who knows?
Thank you for the $10 donation. Appreciate it. Thanks for addressing my question in the chat. Usually, content creators only answer super chats. So thanks. No, we try to read every single chat that comes up here. We think it's fun. A lot of these comments you guys have are kind of funny sometimes. And yeah, this one was actually pretty good. So man, let's address the question we got here.
Yeah,
we dropped below 33,500. Apparently that's what we said yesterday, which is kind of we said the 34 was actually the bottom for that one. And now what do we have? We're actually sitting at the, I can't put these shades on anymore, man. I can't even see. see. Now we're back
Can you not see?
at all, man, at all. Now we're back in business.
All
So
right.
I'm sharing my screen still. I'll switch to yours if you wanna say something here. But yeah, man, things are definitely we're in a retest zone area, and we need to see buyers step back in. Otherwise, it's gonna be another failed breakout attempt, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is what I would call, in my professional technical analysis opinion, what's kind of referred in the industry as no bueno.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, it's typically what they call it. It's highly technical terminology, and we don't like want to confuse anyone, but it is indeed referred to in the business, as we say, as no bueno.
Right.
So, folks, bottom line is here, things are indeed no bueno. People have been drawing different wedge lines, different trend lines, and while there's different ways to draw this, ultimately, a few of the ways you can draw this, we have broken down bearishly, which is indeed no bueno. Currently, we're testing some previous lows to see if we hold as support. So, folks, right here a low, right here a low, right here a low. This was acting as support. Here resistance, here resistance. Clear base of reactivity just above 33,000, 33,500. So the question that's being answered right now is, will this previously established base of support maintain? Sure, correcting right now, but the question is, will we establish previously held resistance and now flip it into support? Because we broke out from this range and now we're coming back down to retest it. So if 33,500 continues to hold, that is a very good sign. If not, if we start to lose 30,500, that is bearish confirmation, and we could go on and test some of these lower lows, which is concerning. So this has got to hold. If we start to lose 33,500, that is muy no bueno.
Can you say that again?
It's again technical terminology, but in the business we refer to it as muy no bueno.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get that.
You broke character, man.
Oh, 100%. I can't see shit, man. I need my glasses. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I don't want to pull up, my $1 million shades right now.
Right.
But
I got you.
Yeah, man.
That's some people just can't hang with the cool kids.
Can I speak? For God's sake. Look at you. What kind of back? So that's the background you picked?
It is what it is, man.
Holy shit. Okay, so guys, overall, let's just look at the daily real quick, okay? We don't wanna go too crazy right now. We're looking.
What?
Let me speak, man.
Go ahead.
So, daily chart for Bitcoin at the moment, we're down -4%. Yesterday, again, we're all looking at this. We saw some people pushed at that resistance, and we want to see them continue to push above this level right now. So 33,000 looks like, 33,000, 34,000, we need the bias to come in. If, overall, I don't want to, the longer we wait in this, the more it's going to get to a point where it's too explosive. The last time we broke above it, we pushed all the way up. In my opinion, wasn't that organic. We actually hit the 100 EMA on the daily, pretty indecisive, and continued to downtrend. This time, we're looking for a retest at this level, and it looks like so far we still have 5 hours and 45 minutes for the day to go. We could easily still continue to push back above. I'm waiting on the day to actually end and see what happens. It's going to paint a picture on whether buyers are confident or not as confident at this breakout as much as they were last time, or actually they're more confident, then we get some sort of a wick to the upside. So in my opinion, yesterday we were talking about this is the 4 hour. You'll see it. We actually had this breakout here. I'll just take off the indicators. We had this breakout. You can see how we resisted against it for a while. Went up, came back to retest over here. We saw some push movement to the upside, but looks like we're not still ready yet. In my opinion, man, we did pass the breakout. The breakout point to the bottom. So is this it's too early for me right now to fully say that this is it failed to retest properly. I still want to see how the day is going to end. But overall, I want us to, again, see us push back above that 34,187. I saw in the chat someone was saying, oh, actually, Margaret, was saying that we said yesterday, what do we have here? 34,500, 33,500. So right now we're sitting at the 33,500 exactly. And that's the previous, also we have, it's one of those stops I guess we have right now. So yes, we do need to go above, but in my opinion, we need to at least continue to push back above the 34,180 to see something happening, right? So as of yet, once we get to those support zones, we're not just gonna go in and just continue to push back up. We need to see that confirmation, and yeah, that's why we always say, don't buy as soon as this breakout happens here and jump on that pump. You gotta wait for a retest. You gotta wait for a confirmation, and right now we have yet to see confirmation that the retest actually came through. Can we predict whether it's gonna happen or no? No, no one can. But all you do is, if we're starting to go back to these slower levels, break the 33,000, break this at least, and you'll probably see also on the VPVR. Let me see here what the VPVR is. Yeah, again, this is it. Looks like 32,700. This is where we had that cluster before. If we continue to go below that, then in my opinion, I can easily say this is a failed attempt for a breakout, man.
Yeah, man. And so it is pretty concerning. So folks, we always want to see, so right now we had a bit of an impulse. Now we're coming back down. So I believe we're just coming back down to retest previously established price reactive zones. And so again, I've been mentioning for weeks that this 33,000 zone from 33,000, 35,000, super price reactive due to daily, weekly, and monthly candles closing all at this $33,000 region. So right here with this low, this low, this low, this low, and this high, clearly established price reactive zone right here at 33,300. I've been talking about this level for weeks. And so the question is, will we hold this previously established support/resistance area? We have a daily candle closing within the next 5.5 hours. So if within the next 5.5 hours, Bitcoin can hold 33,300, that's a good sign. If we get a daily candle start to close below 33,300, 33,000, that is a bad sign that we can see further bearish continuation. As well, looking at the 4 hour, 4 hours looking bearish, man. MACD is losing strength. Weighted MACD, bearish crossover. Stochastic RSI overbought. Regular RSI overbought. Stochastic RSI overbought, having a bearish crossover. So, I mean, the next day or so, I could see looking bearish. And again, folks, we're going into the weekend, so I would anticipate some bearishness coming into the weekend. The kind of thing we need to look out for in the short term is that 33,000 region for now. If that holds, then maybe some of these higher time frame indicators can start to flip more bullish. We'll see if that happens. The hourly does look bullish, so we'll see if we have a bit of an impulse here. Now, one thing, what? I can't see you, man. You should have.
Yeah, I can't take it seriously, man. I can't take this seriously. I cannot. There's no way. I can't just look at you like that. I can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, folks. I'll break it.
Just please. Oh my goodness.
Man, I can't right now. By the way, I can't see you on the streaming software we use. I can't see your face.
Oh,
you went, yeah. So really? I can't really. Yeah, I don't know what you can do on your. It's not a big deal if you can't fix that. But I'm just I can't see you.
Open up the thing.
The thing? What do you mean the thing?
You know what it is, man. We don't want to say so we don't get hacked.
I mean, it's open. The thing's open.
Oh, right. You know what?
If we go to the streaming platform where
forget it, man. Forget it. He
yeah,
doesn't
all
see
good.
me, guys.
All
it's
good.
all good.
Yeah, it's no problem. No worries.
Anyways,
yeah.
Messa first took his shades, now his hat. You might as well lose the shirt too, bro. We see both your faces. You good? Hey, I'm not taking off no shirt, man. I'm trying to get shut down here.
Maybe by the end of the bull run, we'll go to like Q or something. You'll see us trading on a beach, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure, man. Anyways,
something just really romantic.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was getting to a really good point here. So, folks, what do we? Because we're looking bearish. 4 hours looking bad. We're breaking. We failed to retest support, hold it as support. So what do we need to look out for to start to be a little bit more bullish? Well, we want to see this 1 hour bullishness continue. We also want to get above this trend line from the most recent all-time high, the next major lower high. So if we break above, come back down to retest, then that hourly indicators has a fighting chance of seeing bullish continuation. So I bring this trend line up specifically just because it will serve as one layer of bullish confirmation. So if we can get a layer of bullish breakout and bullish confirmation, then that could help the hourly indicator, bullishness in the hourly, translate to the 2 hour, translate to the 4 hour, translate to the daily, and so on and so forth. So if we can see a little bit of bullish divergence here in the short term, that will be a good sign. So we'll see how we react off
Where
that
do you have
trend
that
line.
at? Where's that level at?
It's just from the failed pump, so from 36,700,
I see.
next lower
Okay.
high.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just one layer of resistance that we get, that if we can get above, that's the bulls proving that they're still in control in the short term. So we want to see the bulls show signs of actually being in control, and in that case, we could be a little bit more confident that this hourly bullish divergence could translate to the higher time frames, because the 4 hour looking a bit bearish. Going into the weekend, 4 hour looking bad is not what we want to see. We're very much overbought on the 4 hours. So, getting close to the weekend, not the best sign. Holding 33,300 and then seeing a little bit of bullish divergence on the hourly is what we want to look out for if we want some hope of a recovery coming.
Right. And that's the thing right now, because it's kind of hard to time everything. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of signs getting ignored at certain point. We're seeing those breakouts get ignored. We're seeing those, failing to retest properly. It's actually all over the place. And that's the problem. Once we get stuck in some sort of range sideways here, guys, it's always, this is even a no trade zone in general, right? Just because it's very hard to predict.
We're in the middle.
We're just going sideways, right? Sideways action is actually the worst actually trade. And this is not, this is not to say as in like, oh, we're not, this is just for trading. I'm saying in general that right now, it's because it's sideways action. You can draw this support, resistance, breakout in so many different ways, and it still wouldn't make sense, because half of the market is looking at one pattern, others are looking at something else, and that's why we continue to fail. So overall, we're going sideways. We've been going sideways. And we want to see right now over a very short, even if we take this line right here, and I'm looking at Binance. If you guys open up Coinbase, it's even different. It's even, the tops are actually even different. But overall, in my opinion, this right here was the top. Let's see, why is my So this right here was the top here at the 42,400, and this line, I guess, or this resistance line, is where I would say most of the market would react. Obviously, it's more of a zone, so again, I can maybe just clone this and say that this right here is a resistance zone, right? And this right here in the bottom would be a support zone. Somewhere here where we're going to find that support. So that's the thing. When we're looking at sideways action, it's pretty hard to predict what the majority of the market will be looking at. So that's the thing. In my opinion, this was a zone here of resistance. We tried to break above it. Now we went back into that zone, right? All these stops, this stop right here, this one, this one, this one, this one, and now we're back inside of it. This zone right here is a support zone, in my opinion. Once we continue to go back down below it, then again, it's going to be a bit of, we're going to have to retest this guy over here. Is it going to hold us or no? It's a question we need to see what happens. But again, this is the zone we're looking at right now. It is hard to try to time the market. Are we going up or are we going down? No one knows. Even if they tell you they do, they don't. It's more like we actually do need that market to speak to us first. And yeah, that's what it is, man. That's my full blown rant. So there's a
if you no, all good. Oh, I love your channel. Look at that channel.
Yeah, hit me up.
You're right. Again, man, I think your channel actually might be very valuable, because given that there's so many different ways to draw kind of our upper resistance band here, I think a channel right now makes a lot of sense. And yeah, man, we're pretty smack dab in the middle of our range. I think a bit more bearish. So given that we're testing support, nothing's really solidified. Nothing's really been tested. We haven't broken through anything yet. We're just testing previous support. It's awful to call things. We're really in a no trade kind of territory right now. So yeah, I'll definitely say sit and wait, man. So in the meanwhile, while we're sitting and waiting, why don't we discuss some news? Because there's some very, very big news worthwhile discussing. So we brought up some very big news the other day, but some recent pretty big news. Coinbase has been approved to function and provide services in Germany. So Germany is one of the biggest European markets, and this is a very, very big deal, folks. This will bring in, potentially millions of people, potentially hundreds of millions, billions of dollars within the space. So very, very bullish thing to see, man.
Yeah, 100%, man. And even yesterday, to be honest, so again, with all the scrutiny finance has been having recently, just something you guys need to be paying attention to a lot, because obviously Binance is, is like the Walmart of all exchanges, right? Very strong, I guess, monopoly. Recently, also they, a couple days ago, I think, where is it? CoinMarketCap here? Was it CoinMarketCap launches token swaps and Uniswap support? So CoinMarketCap is owned by Binance, right? And now, I guess overall, we're seeing that shift to who's going to have the most market share in the market. Binance has been under scrutiny by the UK, by Canada and Ontario. It's getting banned by the end of the year in Canada. And in the UK, still didn't follow up, but yesterday or a couple of days ago, saying we're halting all services. You guys are not regulated. Something again with Qcoin, with Bybit, and same thing. So overall, we're seeing that push towards those big exchanges, right? Because all the money is leaving from all these big banks, going to those exchanges. A lot of outflow from banks is going to those exchanges, and they're trying to obviously control it. Now, I think, in my opinion, Coinbase is on the good side of the, regulatory compliant side of the government, I would say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they're getting a bit of more leverage within that. But again, man, so much is going on, and even Coinbase now, they're talking about having their own app, or like their own services on the App Store. It's a bunch of stuff going on in the market right now, man.
Oh, that's very big news. I don't know if you have that pulled up on your end there. Do you?
Let's see. The use case, bank, HSBC. I have like 20 different tabs here, man.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Actually, I do have it. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's pretty big news. We should talk about this.
100%. So we're seeing here, guys, Coinbase revealing plans for crypto app store amid global refocus. Coinbase is looking to bolster its global presence, announcing it will focus on launching new products in most countries by default moving forward. And top US-based centralized crypto exchange, Coinbase has announced plans to launch a crypto app store offering third-party developed products. They're saying Apple didn't attempt to build every app for the iPhone. It empowered developers and gave mobile users an easy way to access new innovative apps. They're trying to do the same thing. Are they gonna be the new app? Are you an iPhone guy, or are you Apple or Samsung?
No, I'm not that pretentious.
What is that supposed to mean?
I got an
iPhone.
And I ain't saying anything, I'm just saying it's like a bit pretentious. It's not for me, man. Yeah, I'm like kind of a humble dude. That's the one thing about me, is I'm like super humble. And that's what people tell me all the time. And like I just need to get that across, just so people know this about me.
Is that why you got the piano in the back?
I'm just extremely humble.
Is that why you got the piano in the back?
Yeah, I'm a fantastic artist. I'm just killer at piano. Like all the keys, I press them so well. Like I'm really good at just in the right order, making a great song with these music with the piano keys. I'm a great artist. I'm extremely humble. There's so many great attributes to myself.
You're giving me a headache, man. Can I continue this?
Go ahead.
Anyways, sorry guys for my co-host's
greatness,
demeanor, and way of approaching things here. But anyways, he's still an intern. He's still learning. Anyways. So Armstrong estimated there's now tens of billions of dollars of economic activity running on decentralized apps. The post also emphasized Coinbase's commitment to expanding the number of crypto assets it supports and increasing the speed of new listings, announcing plans to reduce its legal review for prospective listings and launch an experimental zone for new assets. Right. So that's what Coinbase. They have this what's it called? This is the blog post they put up by the CEO. Bunch of things here to talk about, but anyways, yeah, guys. So we'll have this in the Discord if you guys want to read up on it. I think it's going to be the next big thing for Coinbase. But there's a huge shift in the market that we all need to pay attention to. But the biggest thing, man, is what we discussed yesterday, which I don't really think we gave much attention to, which is the where is this one? $6 billion NCR opens Bitcoin purchases to 650 banks and credit unions.
This is huge, guys. Like this is massive, man. We mentioned this, but we gotta mention this again, because this is actually one of the hidden potentially biggest news stories out there. I mean, look, man, I think this is arguably on the scale of El Salvador,
if not bigger,
because Could be, man. Because look, we all understand a country adopting Bitcoin is great. But with that being said, El Salvador has what, a couple million people in it, very small country. I mean, nothing but love to El Salvador, but it is what it is. But man, the American market is the biggest market in the world for cryptocurrency.
It is.
And this news story just made it so that the biggest market in the world has broken down barriers to enter the space. And it's not going to be a shit ton easier for people to get into crypto. Because forever, man, banks were constantly shutting down crypto services. If you were trying to, send money to a crypto wallet or anything, constant hassle. The fact that banks are now providing, services to purchase Bitcoin, purchase crypto, this is one of the biggest developments really in Bitcoin's history.
100%. That's the thing, man. We keep talking about it. I guess it's getting, more evident that the demand on, for crypto, for Bitcoin has been increasing. Not just demand from institutions, demand from the people. People want Bitcoin. People want crypto. And overall, the bank and bigger institutions would end up, with their phone ringing all day long. We need to do this, or we need to buy into this, and then putting those barriers that a lot of people don't like, man. And even my bank at one point is doing the same thing. I couldn't take my money out of the bank. Why? For security reasons. For if you're going to an exchange or if you're trying to buy anything, it's not gonna happen. So with all that, people found ways. People will there's $2.4 trillion, right, that got pumped into crypto, and it came from somewhere. So regardless of how much you try to, put those barriers, there's always going to be that one bank that will allow it, and people are going to migrate there. If you don't want it, all right, see ya, I'll go switch to another bank. So that's what they're trying to do here. They're not as well versed, I guess, in the crypto space, and we understand how much legalities behind it actually holding those Bitcoins for in your own bank. So what they did was, this is, like an online payment, like giants, basically. NCR opening Bitcoin purchase to 650 banks and credit unions. Maybe we'll just reading this, man, and we'll see whatever comments we have. But overall, 650 US banks will soon be able to offer Bitcoin purchase to an estimated 24 million total customers. As part of the deal between enterprise payment giant NCR and digital asset management NYDIG, community banks, including North Carolina-based First Citizen Bank and credit unions, including Bay Federal Credit Union in California, will be able to offer their. You can tell here what I'm trying to get here, guys. trying to get a standing desk here, but anyways.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so instead of having to deal with the burdensome regulatory requirements related to actually holding the cryptocurrency for their customers, the financial institutions that opt to make the service available will rely on NYDIG's custody services. So, which is good business, I guess. Like the banks don't have to go through a massive loophole, right? And overall, the NYDIG is more compliant, more regulated. And you guys demand Bitcoin, you want it? All right, no problem. You can do it through the bank. Just don't take your money out of the bank. So it's gonna still bring more people into the space, a lot more people to the space, and you gotta time it. With these times we're actually in right now in the crypto space, does it really matter what's happening with Bitcoin at the moment, man? Does it really? Obviously it does, but this huge push now for all these big banks and big institutions should tell you something.
Yeah, you know what, man? And we were having a very similar conversation that is relevant to what we're discussing right now before the live stream. So we're actually, we actually live stream a bit later than we planned. And part of the reason is because me and you, we were having a little bit of discussion before the live stream. Me and Messi, we were talking about what really moves this goddamn market. What's really important to consider here? Is it these high time frame moving averages? Is it volume? Is it fib levels? What TA really is important in understanding the next macro move. And while, I'm sure we both came to agree, and you feel free to jump in at any point here, that TA is, of course, important. But we really also, at the same time, need to understand that there's always new factors being introduced to this market that we're in that will dramatically change the course of Bitcoin's future, because we exist in one of the fastest growing asset classes in the world that's not regulated. There's barely any major corporations or rich people or countries in it. It's just beginning. Adoption is just beginning. So any major development in adoption of fundamentals could dramatically change what Bitcoin is up to. Like, man, this development that allows 650 American banks and God knows how many people now purchase Bitcoin, that could be one of the most bullish catalysts in Bitcoin's history because it just opened the floodgates for a bunch of buying pressure to easily enter this market.
Oh yeah.
And so something like this fundamentally changes the picture. And so again, another country, a large country, getting into Bitcoin could fundamentally change the picture. Germany getting into Bitcoin, getting into crypto could fundamentally change the picture. So we got to be on the lookout for these major catalysts. And we always got to be, aware of new factors entering this market that could change things moving forward. We can't be, dogmatic in what we consider.
100%, man. And even like, look here. In addition to its work with the financial sector, NCR is the largest provider of point-of-sale software to grocery and other retail stores globally. So if you're a grocery shop, or if you are, whatever kind of shop you have, they through NCR, they probably have like some sort of software, something like this, where you actually go and like tap your payment or put your credit card, whatever the case might be, and they will do, this. They will what's it called? Settle the payment, go through the bank and everything on the spot for you, so you don't have to get like a cash register or whatever the case might be. But anyways, this right here, they're the largest provider of point-of-sale software to grocery and other retail stores globally with a 45% market share, according to research firm RBR. In total, NCR serves 180,000 restaurants, retail chains, and more, including Fifth Group restaurants in Georgia and Metropolitan, at the 9 hotels in Ohio, all of which could eventually be open to Bitcoin payments if everything proceeds according to plan. Doesn't have to be specifically Bitcoin, but again, this is such a huge step towards that adoption we've all been talking about. This is such a huge step for just telling you that there was, with everything trying to be regulated and all that, if you can't regulate it, if you can't beat it, they got to join it and start regulating it. But again, with everything going on, the demand is too much that these guys have to comply to get the market in. Otherwise, they're actually under leverage. They're at a loss somehow, and customer base will leave. And we're seeing that again now with this push here, with point of sale systems. And again, we're seeing Facebook also trying to target having their own digital currency pegged to the dollar. We're seeing Twitter yesterday getting into NFTs, and I don't know what they did exactly. I saw yesterday, or actually today morning. I think you showed me it yesterday.
Yeah, on live stream. Yeah.
Everybody's coming in. Everybody's in. So sign me up.
Hold on. Are you suggesting that adoption is just beginning?
Don't get me hyped up, man. I don't want to start screaming right now, but yes, it is here.
Yeah,
it's
guys.
actually here, and at a time where we're at a discount. Everything's at a discount, right? So keep that in mind, man.
It is. Yeah, sorry. Finish your thought.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
All right, look, I was just saying too. I just mentioned that. Look, guys, we could enter an extended bear market. Anything's possible, but at the same time, the fundamentals for crypto never looked better. We have countries adopting, banks adopting, corporations adopting, individual rich people adopting. We brought you guys a story just the other day of how the number of unique addresses on Ethereum has now surpassed Bitcoin. The fundamentals in this space have never been better. Ethereum is going to become deflationary very soon here. 1 month, 2 months. It's going to become scalable in 1 year, 2 years. Folks, the space has never been more developed. There's never been more use case. There's never been greater adoption. I mean, like, sure, man, we could crash below 30. If we get a daily candle close below 30, we could go to 24, we could go to 20,000. Something like that's definitely possible. But eventually, man, my gut feeling moving forward is the further we drop, the further we're close to a bottom. And look, the thing is, markets can act irrationally for a long time. Like, we're hearing all these bullish catalysts, but people can act irrationally, and hedge funds can, short the market longer than we can remain solvent. So while the fundamentals are good, again, we got to watch out for these specific price levels. They got to hold. And just because fundamentals are great does not mean that that's immediately going to reflect in price action. It could take a long time for it to reflect in price action, but that's the key thing. It's just a matter of time. And if you're holding quality, the longer your investment time horizon, the more likely you are to be profitable in this space.
100%, man. Look, Guys, if you like the live stream so far, make sure you press that like button. It actually helps a lot with the engagement. You know, if you like what we're presenting here, make sure you press it right now, this second. It will help us out a lot. I see some comments here in the chat, so let's just read those. Let's just see whatever we have. So, Buffo or Bufo on the beat. I've been there many times in person. Oh, and El Salvador is small than Tennessee. That's pretty interesting, man. Hopefully you had a lot of fun. So we're seeing also, does this news give bankers an incentive to want to manipulate the market like they do the stock market? Not trying to be negative, but bankers are known to push the limits of what's legal to make money. 100%, yeah. Like,
Oh,
we can't
100%.
control none of
Yeah.
that as well. Like, this has
Yeah.
been something, you know, since
Yeah.
thousands of years ago. It's manipulation in the market has been something to be, you know, more than expected. I see here someone was commenting on your comment. They're saying, I think the two biggest factors that will move crypto and Bitcoin to new highs are environmental friendly mining and regulations that aren't attacking the investor. I fully agree.
100%. 100%. And regulations are necessary.
Yeah.
That's why when we see, you know, banks providing the ability to purchase Bitcoin, that's such a bullish catalyst. That's huge. That's huge. The American market is the biggest market. And it just made it easier for God knows how many Americans to buy into crypto. That's giant. That's massive, massive.
24 million, man.
24 million people are, yeah, you could buy Bitcoin through your bank. I mean, come on, man. Come on. I mean, why would you want to? I definitely wouldn't want to. But for the new people, it will probably seem appealing. Sure.
100%.
Yeah. I was gonna say something. I forgot. I had something on the tip of my tongue that I now forget.
I think you started off with our argument we had before this live stream.
Oh yeah, which is, again, folks, look, we always got to be open-minded as to what factors we consider that will move this market. We can't get married to anything, right? And I'm speaking about myself here as well. Like, you know, we can't get married to any one factor. We always got to be open-minded. And so it's up to you, man, if you want to hash out, you know, the conversation we had earlier. If not, we can maybe just keep going here.
Sure. Maybe let's just keep it till the end of the live stream, just so we can get all this information out there. People are watching.
I got you. So one thing I would want to throw out there with Bitcoins, folks, is we're seeing something extremely concerning with Bitcoin, which is the dollar is pumping. And the dollar typically has a direct inverse correlation with Bitcoin. Whenever the dollar does well, Bitcoin and other currencies do poorly. So the dollar is putting in a short-term higher high. We flipped resistance into support. This is not what we want to see, folks. If the dollar puts in a higher high, if we break above this white trend line, that is what we call in the business muy no bueno, because Bitcoin is at a tipping point. And if some of these major macro factors start to tip more to the bearish side, that could be the thing that tips Bitcoin below 30K again. If we have a daily candle closing below 30,000, 29,000 with Bitcoin, it's going to look like a bearish breakdown from the head and shoulders. And again, folks, if we get a daily candle closing below 30,000, 29,000, then the possibility of going to 24,000, the possibility of going to 20,000 is extremely realistic, extremely possible. So again, folks, if we can kind of hold it together by this Sunday, by the end of this weekend, maybe if we can hold 32,000, 32,000, some of these levels, just put in a higher low, then Bitcoin come Monday has a fighting chance of recovering and pumping.
I agree, man. And overall, what do we have here? Let me just see something here. So if I switch so if we're just looking at a bit of a lower time frame, right? We're looking at this right. So the whole market, you can see on the side here, the whole market is actually a bit in the negative. It's in the red today. Everything in the red. Everything's waiting for this to finish. So we're seeing, you know, even on the 4 hour here, I don't even know why is this not showing up properly. Let's see visibility.
Your chart?
Yeah, I just wanted. Yeah, exactly. So this is the channel that I guess we just talked about. We're at it exactly. We're there. We're within that range where there's a lot of reaction happening. I'm looking at the 4 hour. Looks like the 4 hour is going to close in 1 minute and 1 hour and 15 minutes. And if it closes at this level, so somewhere around this at 33,500, we could start possibly having a bit of a reversal on the MACD. Obviously, you know, still not a lot has been happening, but we've been actually gaining that momentum ever since we been moving to the upside. So We haven't had much going on ever since June 21st in terms of the MACD itself. It's been going sideways a lot. Nothing overextended like this, for example, right? I want to see the MACD start to go really to the upside to actually start thinking about this being extremely where the buyers are, because the buyers and sellers have been really just pushing and pulling in the same kind of direction for a while now. So we're not really seeing much happen right now. But overall, I guess the biggest thing we need to rely on is that daily. On the daily, you'll clearly see that we've been in the negative or heading to the negative ever since February 22nd, around that region where we actually started having that first stop we had over here. That's when we started having the crossover, and ever since the MACD really started getting more and more controlled by the sellers. So right now, recently, that's what we've been having. We've been having also as well the RSI itself having those higher lows, so gaining more strength, just like how we were here having lower highs with this with the RSI, and Brendan brought it up a couple of times here as well. Bearish pattern, coupled with we're having higher highs on the price action. That's with lower highs in terms of the RSI. As soon as we got to the third time, fourth time, we actually hit the RSI. It was pretty clear that the price action is bearishly diverging. And now we actually went to the lower RSI level, all the way down at the we actually went past the 30 level on the RSI, and this is the first time where we're having lower lows in terms of price action, while we're getting those higher highs in terms of the RSI after being here since the we haven't really visited this area in terms of the RSI ever since, what do we have here? Let's just say somewhere close to here. Ever since what, 254 days. Right?
Yeah.
So again, we've been losing that strength. It's just that the price action didn't really show it much yet. Obviously the drop is there, but I'm talking about a bullish divergence. We should be thinking about that soon. We should be thinking about some sort of reversal soon, and it wouldn't be that much of a radical idea.
No, it definitely would not be a radical idea as well. Also, I want to bring up the weekly MACD for Bitcoin, because I do see something extremely interesting. While we are seeing that bullish divergence on the daily, and that is significant to note, I also find it very significant to note that we are seeing a rounding of the weekly MACD, and actually we're seeing the histogram move up, which is bullish. I mean, weighted MACD has had a bullish crossover on a super high time frame when we're extremely oversold. Stochastic RSI overweight, oversold, bullish crossover. I mean, this just looks primed to explode, man. All we need is that little bit of push, that little bit of bullish confirmation. And I think the possibility for continuation is definitely there based off our indicators. So, okay, but just to focus on the weekly MACD here, whenever we've seen this rounding out behavior, when we're moving down, but the histogram starting to tick back up again, the momentum starting to move to the oversold side, overbought side. So momentum is going up. The buying pressure is moving up. So when was the last time this happened? So we were during the bear market, we were oversold here on the weekly MACD. As soon as the histogram started to move up on the weekly, I mean, that was pretty much the bottom of the 2020 March crash. If we go over here to December 2019, kind of this dip here, as soon as the histogram started to tick up here, we had a relief rally. And if it weren't for that 2020 March crash, that we would have seen continuation. Even though looking here at the bottom of the bear market, MACD very oversold, histogram starting to move up, and it called the bottom. That was literally the bottom once the histogram on the weekly started to move back up. So the last 3 times we've been this oversold and the histogram starts to move up on the weekly MACD, it was the local bottom. And again, guys, there could be new factors, mitigating factors that come in and just crash the price. Again, here we started to round back up, but then the global pandemic hit and we had a crash. So we could have a black swan event. The US could just ban crypto and we could crash. So again, guys, this is a good sign, but this is not like, oh, this is 100% guaranteed. We're going back up, boys. This is guaranteed the bottom. No, this is just a good sign of what we need is continuation. Again, man, I know you mentioned this, but just this is going to be so significant. So we want to tell you this over and over again before it happens, because once it happens, everyone's going to be talking about this. And we want to let you guys know in advance before it happens the significance about what we're about to describe. And again, you've mentioned it, but just reiterate because it's important. This divergence we're seeing on the daily RSI, just how the higher highs in price action and lower highs in RSI constituted bearish divergence, and we had a massive crash after that bearish divergence. But now we're seeing the exact inverse. Those lower highs in price action, lower lows in RSI, coinciding with higher highs in RSI and higher lows. That is bullish divergence. So just how we saw the results of what bearish divergence could lead to, a 50-60% correction. Now we're seeing the exact opposite. Now we're down a lot and we're seeing bullish divergence. So just how that bearish divergence led to the crash, could this bullish divergence lead to a recovery? Maybe. It's still yet to be seen. We still need further bullish continuation and bullish confirmation. But the setup for us recovering is here. We just need to keep getting some higher highs, higher lows, flip a few major resistance levels into support. And in that case, I think the bulls will have the confidence to have a relief rally.
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, man. And overall, if we're looking here at the maybe just we can start ending it, I guess, with Bitcoin here soon, or depending if you have anything more to say. But I would say even on shorter, lower time frames here, we have, if I take this off, looks like, you know, buyers are trying to push at the 0.5, you know, Fibonacci level, which is not really the not 0.5. Let me see here. What did I do here? I did something wrong. Yes, what do we have here? All the way here, all the way to the top. So yeah, we're somewhere closer to the golden pocket, where we're seeing, you know, that the buyers are trying to come in right now on a very low time frame. I hate when this shows. Yeah, perfect. So something like this here, and we need to see at the moment on a very, very, very low time frame if this is actually going to hold or no. And overall, if we want to gauge what's going to happen soon, we're just going to see any breakout above this level over here, somewhere closer, I guess, to 33,700 or 33,600. Any break above this trend line over here, I think is going to a bit confirm that there's some sort of reversal here. Anyway, so we're at that range. We're trying to break above. We're seeing that buyers are trying to step in at this level of the golden pocket. Still not fully down to it yet, but again, we need to see what happens before the end of the day. And I agree with what you just said, man. I think that's what we need to keep an eye out on. Those macro level, those macro time frames to understand, just zoom out and see what's been going on. But on a very low time frame, if you really want to know what's happening, then this is such a critical time right now, man. It's kind of scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But this is a very critical time right now, because it can really mean a lot what's going to happen here within the next day or so. So let's see how that plays out. Yeah.
Yeah, man, because this week, this month, will decide what the next 6 months for Bitcoin looks like. Because again, we're still kind of within this range. We're kind of in the middle. We're not, you know, at the bottom. We're not, you know, exactly at 30. We're not at the highs near 40. We're kind of somewhat in the middle. So the market still has not chosen the next macro direction. We're likely to do so in the near future, within the next week, within the next month. We're likely to pick what the next macro direction is, whether it's a massive dump to 24,000, 20,000, or a relief rally to the high 40s. That's going to be decided sooner rather than later. And in terms of actually timing when Bitcoin could have a relief rally, well, folks, again, coming back to the daily RSI, we've held this trend line on the RSI all throughout this cycle's parabolic growth. Ever since January, we have had a resistance level that we've respected this entire time. And we have really just under 30 days, 26 days before we run up against this resistance. If this support line based off these two lows is indeed valid, and if that does indeed continue to hold, then in that case, we do have just under a month before we are to retest this resistance trend line. And if we retest this thing and see bullish divergence, then in that case, I think that is when Bitcoin breaks out. So if we do something like this, where we break out, come back down to retest, hold that support, and then keep going higher, I think this breakout and then the retest is when Bitcoin truly, truly starts to take off. So watch out for that bullish divergence on the daily RSI. We'll be letting you guys know as soon as we see bullish divergence on that daily RSI, because I do think that's going to be one of the most significant factors for timing when Bitcoin's relief rally comes.
Yes, I agree, man. I see some people here talking about ETH. They want us to take a look at ETH. If that's what you guys want, maybe we'll take a look at that, man.
Let's do it.
Perfect. So I have ETH's chart here on my end, and let's just maybe zoom in here real quick. So Ethereum today on the daily, maybe we'll just start off with the daily, is down 6%. 6.9%, 7%. Looks like we're still trying to, we went below this 200 EMA on the daily, had a bit of a peak below it, came back up and got rejected off of it right here, then came back down again. And then as soon as Bitcoin had that, mini, I guess, breakout, ETH started to push up. So now with the best 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days for ETH, it's been, pretty good. We're above the 2,000 right now. Looks like we are again trying to retest the $2,000 level, and some sort of a double support basically at the 200 EMA. So that also, obviously, whatever's going on with Bitcoin right now is definitely affecting ETH's price action. We know there's been a lot of developments now with ETH and overall the EIP 1559, just making it more deflationary, faster transactions, less I guess stress pressure on the Ethereum virtual machine, on the blockchain itself. So this month, is that gonna affect this at all? I think it will, but again, Bitcoin's been leading the market. Let's see if that actually still affects for this month. I think ETH is gonna have a bit of a still a bit of a good month coming up with everything, all the optimism in the market. But again, we broke below the 2,000. If we're just looking at a just the price action itself only, I think we're currently again sandwiched between the 100 EMA, which is the first the first support we try to find, which is the first level, I guess, we try to find the support at. And then again, the 55 EMA is also that level where we try to find that support. And you'll see here, if I maybe take off my drawings, you'll see here with the whole uptrend ETH has been having, the 55 EMA, this yellow EMA, has been the level where as soon as we create that distance, come back down towards it and find that support, again push back up, find support at it again multiple times along this uptrend. So when we broke below it, we start to get rejected off of it. And again, now we got that and the 100 EMA, which we did again try to bulls, the buyers tried to break any downtrend before that or below that and push the price action above it. Didn't work. Everything is just too much fear in the market, and now we're sandwiched here, right? These EMAs are just completely pointing to the right horizontally. This is the level we're looking at so far. Again, for ETH, important level is the 1,000. I guess 1,000, the 2,000 all the way down to the 1,900 some. That's the support level for ETH. Anything below that specifically, especially because we actually pierced already below it, is very important for us to hold. And for actually to continue to go back above, we have the 100 EMA and the 55 EMA here sitting at a 2,300 and the 2,400, where we're gonna have to completely actually break above to see some sort of continued uptrend. So that's gonna be my indication to whether see whether buyers are actually still confident in Ethereum's price action with all the fundamentals right now that are with all the development happening this month. So yeah, man, let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, and look, man, technically speaking, Ethereum is much stronger than Bitcoin, because Ethereum is currently holding and is above the 200 daily SMA and EMA. Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin has been getting rejected. Ethereum broke below, then got back up. Good to see. We're also holding this light green line. This is the 21 EMA on the 6 hour. Historically, very good for calling short-term price action for Ethereum. And right now we're retesting it. So what I think is going on with Ethereum is that if we can solidify this moving average as support, if we can hold the line here, then I think the continuation of the upside has much more potential, because we had an impulse breaking above a moving average. Now we're just coming back down to retest it. And if we can solidify that support, then in that case, we can test the 200 EMA on the 10 hour. And I do believe this EMA in particular is significant due to its price reactivity previously back in March and February. It was constantly a bedrock of support for Ethereum. So due to it, are you okay, man, by the way?
I am. I just had to cough a lot.
Oh, okay. It sounds like you were heavily breathing.
Nah.
Okay. All right. So, folks, previously established price reactive moving average, therefore I think likely to be relevant moving forward. So I do believe these moving averages I've identified are some of the most relevant price reactive moving averages. 200 EMA on the daily, 200 SMA, 21 EMA on the 6 hour, 200 EMA on the 10 hour. Very historically price reactive, very likely to be relevant moving forward due to it being established as price reactive previously throughout this bull cycle. So again, folks, just to reiterate here, if Ethereum can hold the line at 2,100, 2,090 bucks, then the upside potential is substantial. Then we could retest 2,400. And if we can flip this layer from resistance to support, then we can see further bullish continuation. Now, if we come back to the daily for Ethereum, all right, we have a daily candle closing in 5 hours. So if within the next 5 hours we can hold the line, if we can hold 2100, if we can hold 2090, that is a very, very good sign. So Ethereum just needs to hold it together for the next 5 hours. If we can do that, Ethereum looks strong. And in fact, man, again, we don't need to delve into this right now, but we've been forming a paper portfolio with $5,000 for investing over the long term. I began this paper portfolio yesterday on a live stream. I actually bought some more Ethereum today because we're currently, at least for the moment, holding support. Now, if that continues for the next 5 hours, we can get a daily candle closing above it. Then we would have, for the moment at least, solidified and tested previous resistance and turned into support, thus making the short-term uptrend more sustainable. And so I am looking to buy more Ethereum for my portfolio, maybe even so in real life, if we can indeed get that daily candle closing above 2100.
Damn, so you're buying the dip on, huh?
I am buying the dip. Again, Bitcoin is precarious. It's super, super high risk. Ultimately, I feel somewhat comfortable buying the dip because I have the excuse of a long-term portfolio. Again, I'm looking to sell, near the end of this year, if not for the next bull run. Super long-term portfolio. So given that we're sitting and holding support, I do feel a little bit comfortable buying the dip.
Definitely, man. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, here. I guess that's that for Ethereum.
That's that. Yeah, that's mostly what I had to say with Ethereum. Again, just to reiterate, giant news story just came out the other day. There's more unique addresses on Ethereum than Bitcoin. This is the first time this has ever happened. So again, this just goes to, again, the utility of Ethereum, the adoption of Ethereum, users on Ethereum. It's going in one direction, and that's greater adoption. And eventually, that is going to catch up to price action. It could take a while, but it's just a matter of time.
100%. We've been talking a lot about, how at one point we'd hope to see that. We'd hope to see that decoupling from Bitcoin's price action and see if, ETH will lead the way there, man. So hopefully that does, and then that way at least those fundamentals will start to matter more than just, let's just follow Bitcoin's price action and then call it a day, basically. Whatever's going on with ETH, whatever's going on with Cardano this month, forget about all of that because Bitcoin's too bearish. But then again, that's, I guess, where a majority of that customer base for crypto comes in, just goes to Bitcoin. Not until, we're too much in the mainstream, I guess, and the use case actually becomes more evident that we'll see how, Ethereum and all these other alts, and Dogecoin perform. So we'll see. Is that your paper portfolio? Damn.
Yeah. So this is my paper portfolio, and this is the first time you're seeing this, I believe. So again, I started off with $5,000 US. I have $2,000 left. So I bought Ethereum yesterday, bought Ethereum today. So Ethereum is my number one holding. Then Chainlink, VeChain, PancakeSwap, Terra Luna, Decenter, Audius. I mean, you can see them right here. Alpha Finance, Derivatives Play, ChainX, Bridges, Bitcoin Liquidity, the Polkadot, the Graph, the inverse of Chainlink, Matic Polygon, a second layer scaling solution for Ethereum, Casper Network, smart contract blockchain platform specifically for business, Theta Network, decentralized streaming, Hathor, easy tokenization, Mercurial, DeFi on Solana, Cardano, Easy, Anchor Protocol, 20% APY on stablecoins, Eternity, Superfarm, NFTs, and Kusama, Polkadot, smart contracts.
Man,
so
this guy just bought the whole market.
Yeah, man. No, look again. Do you think I'm lacking on anything here? Because I personally think I'm lacking a little bit on DeFi. Like I'm thinking of buying probably some Aave. Because again, I have $2,000 left. Again, this is a long-term portfolio, looking to sell maybe end of the year, maybe even longer. So.
I don't think so. I think this is pretty good, man. I mean, you're heavily involved, I guess, in the blockchain development sector. See VeChain too. See a bunch of those DeFi projects as well, man. What's your biggest holding right now?
Ethereum by far.
Ethereum,
I have $570 worth, and then Chainlink 270, and then VeChain 213. I honestly want to buy some more VeChain and Chainlink. I'm just looking out for better entries. We're thankfully down, and so I would feel a little bit more comfortable buying Chainlink. Same thing with VeChain. VeChain is down on the day. We're testing this previous support, and so I actually might buy a little bit more VeChain. I'm thinking we could probably go down a bit further.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll wait out some more because we were right up against resistance yesterday. So I don't want to buy too much. I'm probably going to wait out a little bit more, maybe a day or two, see how things go, and probably buy some more VeChain.
definitely. And I guess that's something we want to, start. We started already. I still haven't really fully finalized what I'm looking at as well. But again, guys, this is more to, just show overall. I guess this is just a fun thing to do and see how you can, as well see whatever, if you don't have, try to see whatever you pick right now. If things actually do good, then you can actually see, whatever your picks did over time, and if you actually invested in it. Where you'd be sitting at right now. Even besides that too, man. I think you got a but. What is this? Is that IRD coin? What is that on the left? USD. Oh, okay, USD coin.
Yeah, USDC,
I see.
USDC.
Yeah, man. No, I love it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and again, folks, we're building a paper portfolio for the long term. All right, starting with $5,000, we have max $5,000 to invest. We're each going to do this, but we're going to do this at our own pace. Like if we want to wait a month to buy, then we're going to do that. This is purely for fun, a little bit of a competition. We're both going to build a portfolio on our own time, on our own schedule, whenever we feel like it, and we're going to see whose portfolio can outperform whose over the long term. Mere messing, I'm a bit eager, jumping into this market now. Will that affect me negatively over the long term? We'll see. So we both have slightly different approaches. So it's going to be very interesting to see how our portfolios for long term play out over the next weeks and months, and we'll update you guys whenever we make any significant changes with our paper portfolios, because I definitely want to outperform Messi.
There we go. Overall, man, too, something to also keep in mind, guys. I guess this is like. It doesn't have to always be. A lot of people want to be involved in this, but sometimes they also want to experiment, even with day trading as well, too, right? It's also, I guess, another option for you if you ever want to practice day trading, to actually have its own trading view. If you have trading view, you can connect to a paper trading account, basically. And if you're someone who's trying to, you don't want to lose too much money starting with this, because you 100% will. You can actually trade here with fake money, basically, and see how you perform on a daily or whatever weekly basis. If you want to swing trade, if you want to day trade, if you want to be a scalper, you want to scalp a bit, this is an area where you can actually, try to have a bit of a game and gauge how well you do. Obviously, it's a different case with your own money. It's a lot more emotions involved. But if you treat it more of a treat it more seriously and all that, you can definitely learn a lot of where you go wrong and how your trades would typically go. And yeah, man, so definitely something to keep in mind here. But yeah, even for me, man, with everything, I love the idea right now, and I think people will definitely benefit from it. And if you guys have any picks, let us know if you bought the dip on some, if you've been accumulating more, or if you're looking at the people are, man. I'm seeing some comments. Oh man.
What are they saying?
It is what it is, man. I can't really say much.
What is it? Is it Techno Guy?
Is it
Brandon looks like the next blows Boston's George today. I don't know what that means.
Me neither. Anyways, so yeah, man. We'll see. I think I'll probably have some sort of well advanced list here on my end. Hit you up with it tomorrow. And then, only time I can tell who the real crypto god is.
100%. It's going to be very interesting because, again, folks, we're both doing 5K. We're both going to see, whose portfolio does better over the long term. So it's going to be very fun. It's a friendly competition. We're both going to, take our own approaches, buy and sell whenever we feel like. And, by the end of the cycle, we're both going to see who had better returns. And so we'll see. It's a fun competition. So let me guys know, if you guys see anything lacking in my portfolio, if you guys have any suggestions, it's going to be very interesting. I'm extremely tempted to start putting more money into these super, super low cap gems. I might mess around a bit for that.
A pen.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I see a question here. What site is this that you are using to do the paper account? If you're talking about what Brendan's doing here with the portfolio, then I think you went on CoinGecko. Is that what we?
CoinGecko, yeah.
So CoinGecko for this portfolio where you want to buy and all that. And if you're doing some, you're asking about the day trading, then it is TradingView basically. Go to tradingview.com. And I'm not sure if you are able to, with the free version, to actually have a paper trading account. It's something you'll need to check. But again, it's definitely something interesting. So TradingView and crypto.com. Crypto.com? What do you say? CoinGecko?
CoinGecko, yeah,
wow,
CoinGecko. So
worst memory ever.
No, all good, bro. Same here. So CoinMarketCap offers portfolio functionality as well, but I think CoinGecko has a little bit more functionality to their portfolio. And again, guys, so for me, we're starting out for 5,000 US dollars USDC. I've spent 3,000, just about 3,000. I have 2,050 bucks left. So with this 2,050 bucks, I'm gonna be waiting on the sidelines for a little bit more, better entries, that kind of thing. Buying, bullish breakouts and bullish retests, buying dips, that kind of thing. My initial focus was not perfect entries, but just get that initial exposure over the long term.
100%.
Yeah.
Man, before the live stream, we talked about you wanted to also talk about whatever you're holding. If you wanna go ahead.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So look, man. Okay. So again, just describing my portfolio here. Again, I think I do want to buy maybe something, maybe a little bit more VeChain here on this dip. Now, one thing I will mention is that I did go into PancakeSwap, and let me clarify something with you, man. With our competition here, should we incorporate staking? So with PancakeSwap, for example, if I end up holding PancakeSwap for 1 year, would it make sense for us to calculate the possible staking rewards for the duration of us holding them and adding that, or should we not do that? Too much?
We can do it. I mean, we can do it. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of tracking that. So yeah, we can easily do
Yeah.
it. It's not a problem.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's great then. So we're gonna also be incorporating staking into our gains. We'll be manually tracking that, manually adding that. So, for example, with PancakeSwap, the reason why I went a little bit heavy on PancakeSwap above some of these other projects is because PancakeSwap offers over 100% APY compounding interest. So, I definitely want to take advantage of that because PancakeSwap could fall a shit ton, and due to that staking, it could definitely cushion some of the blow. So, I'm probably going to be looking to pick up some more PancakeSwap or maybe Aave on a dip here. So let me take a look here. By the way, man, just real quick, has there been anything on your radar that kind of tickles your fancy?
I'll be honest, man.
Thinking about? Yep.
I'll be honest. I've been. I told you this already. I've been heavily, like, really getting obsessed with like NFTs and all that, and whatever marketplaces are out there. I don't think we talked because I saw even so for the past week. I wouldn't say week almost now. It's almost like 3 weeks. I've been really heavily getting into NFTs. I don't think I talked about anything here at all. So I think that's where I'm gonna be heading to soon. I think NFTs are set to actually blow up and a lot on a scale I don't think anyone is actually ready for. Even yesterday, last month, I think I saw somewhere OpenSea, which is a marketplace for NFTs, had the best month and the highest NFT trading volume ever.
OpenSea?
OpenSea. So a lot of NFTs were traded, whatever NFTs that are out there got traded a lot. And then that's at a time where Bitcoin was, just doing its thing. Besides what Bitcoin's doing, NFTs use case. And we know how much, all these big, everybody's getting into NFTs from NBA, Marvel. A couple of days ago also put out that they're actually also getting into that. And yeah, man, I think it's actually meant to blow up a lot more than we actually expect. And I think at one point, because regardless of because it did it again, man. Even when Bitcoin was dropping, since we started dropping, we were having record sales happen on artists and overall painters and musicians in general. No one really cared what's going on with Bitcoin. NFTs were still being sold, and that money was really coming in. So that's what I think I want to pay a lot more attention to here soon. Maybe we'll put out something talking about our what we are heavily involved to in terms of NFT soon. But again, that's where I want to kind of double down on besides DeFi.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Are you aware if OpenSea has a Binance bridge? Because the issue with NFTs right now is just look, the fees on Ethereum are low right now because people are leaving the market. But if people come back in, the fees are going to skyrocket. So right now, trading NFTs might be a lot more palpable and easy due to low fee environment. But if this market picks back up again, those fees are going to pick up back up as well. So I'm curious if OpenSea has a Polygon bridge or a Binance Smart Chain bridge.
I'm not really sure, but what I'm sure of is that if that is actually to exist, that bridge to actually eliminate those high transaction fees, I'm sure a migration towards those protocols would be would be something that damn man, this guy's hiding his face. What are you doing here, man?
I'm
Sketchy.
just checking my makeup.
There we go. So yeah, I think it doesn't really matter. Like even it's not OpenSea or Rarible or whatever the case might be. Any other NFT platform is definitely bound to, whatever. Bondly as well, same thing. All of that. So there's a bunch out there that are not really also just fully based on the Ethereum network. So something we also need to pay attention to. But again, it's such a I would say a niche environment, and you gotta really delve in. There you got discords and a bunch of places where that community is there and it is growing. So I guess it depends on. I'm not sure if it has a connection to Binance, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure if there is to be, they're probably most likely gonna utilize it. I'm not sure about OpenSea.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it would be nice to see. I think it would help out adoption.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, no, NFT space super interesting, super new, definitely worth taking an in-depth look at. That's why I'm highly tempted to spend everything all at once, but I want to have a little bit in reserve to potentially buy interesting projects down the road. Now, with that being said, I do personally think I am lacking a little bit in the DeFi space when it comes to my portfolio. Yeah, there's nothing substantial in terms of percentage allocation that's really hardcore DeFi. And so I do think I'm kind of lacking exposure. And so one thing I want to do when trying to kind of filter what to look at when it comes to investing in a DeFi platform, I first off, when going heavy DeFi, pure DeFi, I want to invest in kind of something a little bit more well known, a little bit of a blue chipper just to get something super solid. And with things being down like 50% or more, I think there's plenty of opportunity. So one thing I like to do is go to DeFi Llama here. And on DeFi Llama, you can see the total value locked in its ecosystem. And this total value locked metric, in my opinion, is essentially the market voting on which protocol they place the most trust in and where the market sees the most value. So protocols with higher total value locked in their ecosystem, in my opinion, I interpret that as the market placing trust in that protocol, in the market placing value in that protocol, and they're voting with their dollars. So Aave and Curve, both up there when it comes to DeFi and value locked in their ecosystem. And if you go to exclusively on the Ethereum network, Curve is actually ahead of Aave when it comes to value locked in their ecosystem, which is interesting because Aave is a much higher market cap than Curve. So potentially, given that the market seems to be moving more towards Curve and it has a lower market cap than Aave, therefore Curve starts to look very, very interesting to me in terms of an investment. So yeah, Curve is number 99 in terms of market cap. If you look up Aave, Aave's what's Aave at here? Aave, yeah, Aave just under 3 billion. Curve is at 500 million in terms of market cap. So I do think I would want to get a bit of exposure to Curve. It's down 63% from all-time highs. Aave is down 65% from all-time highs. So I don't want to drag this on too long here, but I think I will buy a little bit of Curve and a little bit of Aave right now. Again, I'm not focused on the perfect entry. This is a long-term portfolio. So my main focus is I'm placing a greater importance on the exposure than the perfect entry. So I could always add to my bags more so later. So for now, I'll just buy a little bit of Curve and a little bit of Aave. So
Watch it drop as soon as soon as you put that money in. It's crazy.
It may very well, yeah.
Man, someone's asking though, Brennan, have you got any AMP? Not sure if you've answered that question. What's your thoughts on overall yet? So
I do not. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not super familiar with Ampleforth. I've heard much. I haven't really delved into it. I should though. So I'm actually gonna look into it. I'm gonna look at not now, just because don't have the time. But Ampleforth is definitely something I will look into more so.
yeah, no, 100%. I see a techno guy as well saying NFTs look too expensive to me, and there are too many around. Hard to pick the good one to be able to cash in. And again, I'm also talking about the marketplace itself. See how besides just trading the actual NFT, I think there's going to be a lot of that big corporate investment flooding into the market. I want to see how I can capitalize on that as well. So it's not the actual NFT itself. Maybe, if I'm that crazy, I guess, but I was never really a collector. I'm not the guy to collect things, let alone I guess digitally. But again, I think it's a market that there's definitely some profit, around the corners on there.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Yeah, folks. So for me, just to kind of summarize here, I'm only buying $50 worth of Curve and Aave for the moment. Again, just to get that initial exposure to the project. Later on, I'll probably dollar cost average my way into these things more on better entries. But yeah, no, I'm a little bit more happy now having that little bit of exposure. So I have just under $2,000 left. I think I'll probably be adding more to some of these higher caps, Aave and some VeChain on better entries, and then leave a little bit, maybe $500, $1,000 left for some more low cap gems. So
how much chainlink do you have?
Chainlink right now, Chainlink is my second highest holding, again excluding the US dollars. So I have $269 worth of Chainlink. I have 15 Chainlink.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
People are asking, why is Engine not in the portfolio, man? How are you doing?
That is a very good question. Now, I was honestly talking about adding Engine to my portfolio the other day. So far, when it comes to NFTs, I have Superfarm and Eternity in my portfolio. And the reason why I chose those two specifically is because when it comes to NFTs, these are some of the projects that are down the most when it comes to NFTs. But I'm definitely exploring the idea of Engine Coin and maybe even Flow. Now, let me ask you, man. So you can't buy Flow in North America. Is it a cop-out? Am I cheating if I add it to my paper portfolio?
No, I would say still.
I can add Flow?
Yeah. I would say
okay, so. Perfect. So yeah, look, Flow guys, those are the guys behind NBA Top Shots. So super solid blockchain when it comes to NFTs. So I think I would definitely be looking to Flow and Engine Coin for sure to add to this portfolio.
Yeah. I see someone saying, I know it's a long-term portfolio, but to me the profit potential goes way down when you diversify so much. 100%. It's always a for you to double. It's always something between. You gotta balance between risk and reward at the end of the day. Also, as much as you're willing to get a lot of profit and actually maximize your profit level, there's also you gotta hedge against it actually dropping, maybe, right? So diversification also kind of adds a bit of that security to your portfolio. So you also need to keep that in mind. It depends whatever your risk level is. A lot of people, even when they invest in mutual funds, you got an aggressive, you got a neutral, and you got one that's a bit more more secure, but less profit and less interest at the end of the year. So something you got to see what you want and what kind of money you're actually willing to invest. If it's hard to lose that money, then it's different. You gotta at least take a bit of a step back and see whatever you can put invest your money in with a bit more heading towards security, although you're just protecting that money while adding a bit maybe a lesser percentage into those low caps, which can actually bring you that profit. But if you're a bit more aggressive, right? So if you're a bit more aggressive, it depends if you don't really care about that money actually dropping, then you can probably just put a much more percentage into a higher risk investment, in my opinion.
Yeah, guys, look, there's so many different approaches and philosophies behind building a portfolio, and depending what your objective is and what you're trying to achieve, you will go about building a portfolio differently. If there's a way of doing things aggressively, conservatively, and so there's many different approaches. And this critique of me being highly diversified and potentially missing out on some gains is a totally valid critique. Just be aware that I'm making it a conscious choice to be kind of really diversified. I am aware that there's a cost benefit to any decision I make. There would be a risk to reward to going heavily into one thing, and there's a risk to reward to going heavily into many things. So it is a conscious choice at the end of the day, and it is a valid critique. And look, at the end of the day, there's many approaches to building a portfolio. This one is a fun approach. Is an aggressive, fun approach is how I would define it.
Definitely, I agree, man.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
what is it? What are the guys like? Do you fancy buying any baby Doge after today's performance with Elon?
God no. God no.
100% you put 99% of your portfolio into Doge and 1% you diversify over 15 different altcoins, including Bitcoin.
Yes, I wouldn't touch those. Maybe if you don't like someone, you could give them some Dogecoin, but
I would
aside
say,
from that, I'm not really a fan.
yeah, me neither, man.
Yeah.
We got what do we have? Seems to be a lot of discrepancies with these different sites in regards to accurate information. We need a site that is directly connected to the blockchain using the graph GRT. Also, Tone R saying follow Grayscale, BlackRock, DeFi to invest. If the government do it, you do it. Follow the money. Guess so. I'm not really fully familiar with. Are you familiar with BlackRock?
With Yeah, I've heard of them. They're yeah, they're a massive investment house. Aren't they? If I may be wrong, but I believe they are indeed the world's largest kind of investment house out there. So yeah, BlackRock is huge. If they are getting into DeFi, that is definitely, arguably, a good sign.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's an interesting route to go down. I think, folks, there's so many different approaches when it comes to portfolio building. I personally am, understand that I'm, losing out on being more heavily into certain things. Um, even me and you, we're having an interesting conversation behind, does it make sense to hold any Bitcoin? And do you think it's worth exploring right now, or what do you think? Do
Yeah,
you
we
think
can
it's
talk
worth
about it.
touching
I
on?
mean, we're pushing the hour 20 minutes. So, are you good with your like end of like you want to
That's
talk
pretty
about?
much it. Yeah, folks,
Perfect.
that's all I want to add for now. I just want to add Alvin and Curve to my portfolio. Just give you guys an update on that.
Yeah. So yeah, man, we can talk about it. I guess like the biggest thing here, guys, we're discussing. We're always going back and forth on things, but whether is it should you hold any Bitcoin in your portfolio? I guess that's the main question.
Right. Yeah, and so look, just to maybe we can do this briefly and concisely, hopefully here, which is, uh, folks, me and Madison, we debate a lot behind the scenes, and we honestly wish we could put more of that onto the live streams. Like we're going to be ready to live stream. This happens often. We're ready, and then we have a debate and we delay things. So, folks, me and Madison were debating just the other day whether it makes any sense to add Bitcoin to your portfolio, and I think you were leaning more on the side of yes, if you think it makes sense to have Bitcoin in your portfolio. And I was leaning more on the side of no, it doesn't make any sense to put Bitcoin in your portfolio. Ultimately, I think it boils down to what you're looking to achieve. Again, there's different, depending on what you're looking to achieve, you'll build a portfolio, long-term portfolio differently. And so for me, I'm highly focused on high return on investment. And so that's why, I want to go for these altcoins with lower market caps with higher ROI potentially. So I'm just trying to kind of explain our position. Did I explain your position well enough there?
Yeah, I guess it's just more of a like it's just a simple question to keep it simple. Should you hold or should you include Bitcoin in your portfolio, as of now or from before? Like in my opinion, again, it depends how much you are willing to put, right? If I have 1 million, I'm gonna approach it differently than if I have 100,000, than if I have 10,000, or if I have $1,000, or if I have 1 billion, right? And overall, I don't think you can really overall kind of convince someone to put some of their money in Bitcoin when they see all those altcoins doing 100x, 200x, or whatever they get, 50x, 10x, 20x, when they actually see it on the chart that they put their money in, in VeChain or in Matic or whatever the case might be, they would actually had a lot higher of a profit that came in after. And that's the thing. In hindsight, we look back, yes, 100%. You're looking like anybody would invest it. I would have invested in Doge if I knew it was gonna go that crazy, right? Anybody would. So again, it depends on what you are approaching. If you're approaching it from more of a well-rounded investment, I do think yeah, you should have Bitcoin a part of your portfolio, especially when all these crazy banks, all these big institutions have it. I think an exposure to it at least should be granted. Like you should, but again, depends on your risk level. It depends on whether you're fully focused on how much money you're gonna make, and you're not really paying too much attention on how much, because I do think Bitcoin holds better overall than these altcoins. I think Bitcoin, and you can that's arguably, I guess, Bitcoin does have a bit of a slower movement, and it takes a lot more to move Bitcoin than it does to move lower altcoins. A lot, even altcoins that are actually well established, like Matic, for example, right? So it's definitely something that especially I think the crypto space got very spoiled in general, especially when the idea of investing in crypto comes with a lot of 50, 20, 30x, 100x. But overall, is it a sustainable strategy, especially in a highly volatile market? And I think for you to just kind of just kind of protect yourself against that, I think it's granted, in my opinion, yes, having a bit of Bitcoin in your portfolio for sure.
I really enjoy your perspective, man, because you do a really good job of being wrong, and so allow me to explain why.
Go ahead.
Because look, again, you mentioned one of the key factors as to why I feel justified to not hold any Bitcoin in my portfolio. It's because of the investment time horizon. Because you're right, when the market's doing poorly, Bitcoin will drop less than all these altcoins. During this correction, Bitcoin has held up a lot better than a lot of these other altcoins. Bitcoin's dropped 50, 60%. Some of these altcoins dropped 90, 80, 70%. So you're absolutely correct that having some Bitcoin during the downtimes will save you from a lot of that downside potential. Because if you were holding, VeChain dropped harder than Bitcoin, Ethereum dropped harder than Bitcoin, almost every single altcoin dropped harder than Bitcoin. And so you're right that during the bad times, Bitcoin does hold up better than these altcoins. And so holding Bitcoin, you protect yourself from some of those losses. But again, you hit the nail on the head with what's important here, which is your investment time horizon. And this is a portfolio specifically built for the long term. And one of your greatest risk mitigating factors when it comes to crypto is your investment time horizon. So if I'm willing to hold 6 months, 3 years to 4 years, then that biggest risk factor, which is the short-term volatility, is greatly mitigated. And over the long term, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin and is likely to continue to do so. So just to briefly demonstrate to you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about, and hopefully I can do this pretty quickly and not take too much time. So from the March 2020 crash to the all-time high, Ethereum pumped 4,800%. 4,800% from the March crash to the all-time high. Let's measure what Bitcoin did from the March crash to the all-time high. It did 1,500%. So if you consider Ethereum's 4,800% growth to Bitcoin's 1,500% growth, starting at the same point, it's pretty clear that Ethereum dramatically outperformed Bitcoin and is likely to continue doing so over the long term due to its lower market cap, it's soon becoming harder, and its major improvements with scalability in the next 1 or 2 years. So, just to summarize, given that this is an investment portfolio for the long term, and the greatest risk factor is short-term volatility, if I'm willing to hold through the short-term volatility, then over the long term, my gains will outperform Bitcoin most likely. So again, Bitcoin is great if you have a short-term time horizon, because when things are down, you'll lose less. But if you'll just wait until times are good, Ethereum will outperform. And the whole point of this is to wait for the long term.
Yeah, and again, that's what it is. Even with mutual funds, a bunch of those stocks listed in there definitely do outperform the other, and some actually do in fact fall, right? So picking still, even if, in my opinion, even if Ethereum did 4 times what Bitcoin did, still doesn't mean that we shouldn't have a percentage allocated. So to me, it's more like because your position is to fully not have Bitcoin. My position is that a percentage should be in Bitcoin, and then with how you are, I guess your time horizon, everything you're factoring in, if you're a bit more aggressive or a bit more, and neutral on it, or you're trying to hedge against that, it's more like a percentage, not just fully zero Bitcoin. That's where I kind of disagree, is that a zero Bitcoin holding is a bit too much, where you can allocate 10% or 5% to Bitcoin, but it's not like zero just because the price performance of ETH to Bitcoin, in hindsight now looking back at it, actually did better a bunch. Even with Ethereum now, you can look at maybe some other low cap that did a lot better than ETH. Does that mean we go and put all the money and not put anything in ETH? I think it kind of goes with a percentage allocation, I guess. That's, if I clarify my position, it's a percentage allocation as opposed to just zero whatsoever, no investment in Bitcoin, man.
Right. So I think you brought up 2 points there, which are very interesting. Ultimately, I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think we just have different approaches and we're placing importance on different things. Again, no right or wrong. Messon's placing greater importance on risk management. I am placing greater importance on being a bit more aggressive and focusing on ROI because I do believe I can mitigate my risk through my investment time horizon. And so you brought up another point, which is, all right, so why don't you just put your money on anything that outperforms historically? Why don't you just put your money in some degen low cap altcoin because it's outperformed historically? The reason why I don't believe that argument is in fact valid, it's because Ethereum is in a class of its own aside from the altcoins. Because I think Ethereum uniquely separates itself from a lot of other even high caps, and that I think, in my subjective opinion, that Ethereum has long-term staying potential. The problem with a lot of these low caps is that their long-term staying potential is rather dubious. I do believe, in my subjective opinion, that Ethereum is arguably has just as much long-term staying potential as Bitcoin. Because a bet on Ethereum is a bet that blockchain technology will continue to have use case and utility, and that's a bet I'm willing to make, and that's a bet that I don't think will ever be wrong. Unless the internet gets shut down, I think blockchain technology will always be useful, and therefore Ethereum, which is the leader within its niche, is likely to always have a space within this space. And so again, for me, I'm placing a little bit more importance on the potential higher ROI rather than the short-term potential risk. Ultimately, I do understand your opinion, and at the end of the day, I think it's just a matter of making a decision on what you value more. From what I see is you're placing that value on that risk management, which is totally valid, and I can't argue against that. I think I'm just making the decision to put that aside and focus a little bit more on an aggressive strategy because I do think I can risk mitigate with my investment time horizon.
Yeah, I do agree, man. I don't think there's any right or wrong with this like whole conversation. I don't think it's I see someone here. I see someone here saying, so newcomers should look at a coin or two, research the messing Google's how to shut down the internet. I'm that pissed off. But so Tonar is saying, and let us know, guys, what you think. Share your comments in the chats, and let us know where you stand in this whole thing. I see, what do we have here? So newcomers should look at a coin or two, research the high and low when one trebles, I guess, and the other doesn't, then sell and convert into other at its lowest. Be wise, gather info for the buy later. It's a chess game. I see again, what do you have? Arcus saying allocating a higher percentage of your portfolio and to Bitcoin, majors or alts, depends on market cycle. And start of the cycle, you should allocate higher percentages to Bitcoin than ETH, then higher percentage to Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then majors, and moving on. So yeah, I guess we got people here saying, wow. One person also agreed with what you said. Saying allocating more or giving it fully to Ethereum, saying also ETH has 4 times more transactions than Bitcoin. ETH will be the new Bitcoin with time, 100%. So yeah, man, you're right. That's what it is, because we're in the business of making money. Period. Yeah. Right? You're not doing this because Bitcoin is gonna you're in love with Bitcoin, or you could, but again, it's how much percentage you want to allocate. In my opinion, I just think 0 is just a bit too much. That's all.
Yeah, and again, man, I don't think there's any perfect answer to this. It's all a matter of what each individual places more and less importance on. I think it's very interesting to kind of express, our disagreement live here. So I'm glad we did that. But yeah, for me, man, Ethereum is arguably just as safe, has just as much long-term staying potential, and due to its major improvements in lower market cap, is likely to outperform Bitcoin moving forward. I could be wrong, but that's the bet I'm making.
Yes.
It's at the end of the day a choice that I'm making. And you're right. Also, with this person, saying for newer people, focus on high caps. Yeah. Look, if you're a brand new person, you've heard about crypto last week and you're getting in, I probably wouldn't recommend maybe Mercurial Finance, some random
Some
obscure
very, like,
Solana DeFi, like who knows what this is. Yeah, maybe not Casper Network. Try to explain to people, oh, this is a niche focusing on business adoption and explain the difference between the smart contract functionality. So for newer people, 100%. Bitcoin, Ethereum, you want to put your stuff in that's relatively more stable in comparison to others in the market with still high return on investment. This is a portfolio geared to myself and my personality. You know, if for another person, for a new person, for my friend, you know, not financial advice, but hey, if my friend came up to me and said, hey, I got $1,000, how do you think, how would you go about it? Well, I might do things a little bit differently. I might maybe go more heavily into high caps. But for myself, I do, you know, I feel comfortable being a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, and that's what I meant, by the way, because, like, look, man, if you have $1 billion,
Yeah.
it
Invested
matters.
totally differently. Yeah.
It matters that
Yeah.
volatility. You know, it matters
It
what's gonna
does.
happen, 100%.
Yeah.
It matters if, you know, Ethereum is actually secure or not. It matters if you're gonna put your money in some low cap, or you're gonna stake it somewhere. Is gonna get, you know, you start valuing security more. You start
Yeah.
valuing that 1% is good enough, 2% is good
Yeah.
enough, 3% is good enough. But look, if I have 1,000, like, look, I'm talking about Bitcoin right now, right? I'm just saying that you gotta give some money to Bitcoin. If I had 1,000 right now that I just don't really care about, I just want to throw it in. There's no way I'm putting it in Bitcoin. There's
Yeah.
no way I'm probably even putting it in Ethereum. I'm putting
Yeah.
in some very low cap that I actually believe in, and I'm
Yeah.
letting it ride, right? So it depends. Again, if you're putting money or building wealth, you could just get lucky as well with some Dogecoin, right? People got lucky with Dogecoin as well, right? So
Yeah.
again, if we're focused fully on profit, Dogecoin also could have been really big. But that's what we're saying, guys, is that
Yeah.
it depends on how much you got. And this conversation is just to show you how, you know, even if we, you know, we talk a lot here, we're always on the channel here together, we still have very big disagreements on this
All the
space.
time. Yeah.
And yeah, am I gonna beat him up? Maybe at one point, but again, it's just a disagreement. So it's just
You
showing
can
you.
try, old man. How are you going to beat me up when
Man,
you're
I wish I could
dehydrated?
just right there.
But you're so dehydrated, you'll stand up, you'll get dizzy and fall over.
Look, man, someone just called you out. Now, someone's saying that's a nice green screen behind you, Brendan. You want to tell them how much you bought that piano for in the back there?
Look, man, I'm just out here making 100x's. I mean, you're talking all this smack. I made 100x on Matic Polygon.
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is. You know, when you're as right as often as I am, you have a certain lifestyle.
We're talking about what the hell is wrong with this guy, man. Can you guys believe this guy?
Guys, I hope you guys realize I find it funny to be really cringy. Well,
Yeah.
you know, cringy. So just be aware, folks. We're having a little bit of fun. We're being
Man,
silly.
talking
I'm not.
about cringe.
I'm
the
not-
shades back up, man. I don't know about
Yeah.
you.
I'm not genuinely this like all into myself. I hope you guys realize.
Guys, the people want to take advice from this. Look at
Also,
this.
man, you brought up some really, really great points
What?
earlier, and I wish I can remember all of them. So,
I'm sorry,
look.
man. My bad. It's
Oh
just,
no,
I
no,
make
I
too much
remember.
sense
I remember.
sometimes. It's hard to
So
keep track.
you do sometimes make some sense. So, man, it's all about what you're trying to achieve. Because the way you invest $1,000, the way you invest $1 million is very, very different, in my opinion. And depending on what you're trying to achieve, I would go about investing very differently with $1,000 or $5,000. I'm gearing this portfolio to being highly aggressive because I want to outperform your old portfolio.
Right.
I know you're going to put 5-10% in Bitcoin, so I want to put that 5-10% in Ethereum because I want to outperform you.
Right. I
But
know
look,
I'm that, like, it's like I got that personality, man. I feel it just like really brings things out of people. So like I get it. Like, I
yeah,
get where you come
yeah.
from.
But ultimately, folks, and again, not as financial advice, but just to share our approach and our thought process. It's all about what you're looking to achieve. If you're trying to be more safe and conservative, or if you're just a new person, you're still learning, maybe you got in the space recently, in that case, it makes a lot of sense to move Bitcoin and Ethereum because they still have plenty of long-term upside potential. And when things are bad, they don't crash as hard as some of these super low caps. So if you're a newer person, you're still learning, you're still gaining that confidence, Bitcoin and Ethereum make a lot of sense. For me, who, I'm super aggressive, I'm willing to hold forever, high risk plays, I'll go more heavily into these low caps, especially as a fun competition between ourselves. I'm trying to outperform you, right? So again, It's all about what you're trying to achieve. You could spend $1,000 super differently. You could go ultra safe Bitcoin, Ethereum. You'll have a couple $1,000 in a year, so be it. Or you could go super high risk, high degen. It's all a matter of what you're trying to achieve. And also, there was some a very good question that I wish I could remember here in the chat here.
Because the chat is too funny, man. We're getting roasted.
Yeah.
They're saying I look blind. Do I look like Stevie Wonder to you right now? Do I look like Stevie Wonder?
Yeah.
I guess I do, man. Yeah, sorry. What was the question you're looking at? Oh, you put your shades too.
Oh, bro, yeah. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. I live a certain lifestyle. You wouldn't understand.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Also, someone says it's like they're playing poker right now.
This is one of them saying you can see someone's bluff in their eyes. Never seen your face. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Wild Tao.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, I see also, what do you have? Grace saying I'm here. We got 94 viewers, guys. Make sure you like the stream. It helps with the
like and subscribe.
What's the deal with the sunglasses? You want to explain your position here?
Besides man,
just trying to like imitate me and stuff.
Quite simple. We're just too cool. It's the simplest way to describe it. I mean, we could go on and on to describe how cool we are, but that's not cool. Like to put it simply, just to let the people know. I mean, some people who just don't really seem to understand.
Yeah,
it's simple, folks. Let's just be like that sometimes, and that's pretty much it.
What a douchebaggy answer, man. You're a douche. You're such a douche. That's crazy.
Super douchebaggy.
It's crazy.
Super douchebaggy.
Anyways, what do we have here? Binance still working, blah blah. You can see someone's bluff. Christopher Miller, stop making fun of us, man. How'd y'all meet? Michael Frederick saying,
I was lost.
I'll tell you.
I was lost. I was lost.
I was driving my brand new Mercedes at one point, and
what?
I'm just down the street here, and
right.
I just see this guy on the corner just crying, man. Dude, just crying heavy. And it kind of broke my heart. I just rolled down the window. He can't see. It's tinted. He can't see to the inside. And lo and behold, it was Brendan. Brendan was actually trying. You take your pinky off that screen, man.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you over the sound of my hydration.
Sure.
Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. So, anyways, Brendan was crying there, trying to, just get some money out of people on the traffic light. Just got him in the car. Just felt good that day. Talking about crypto, about Bitcoin. Clipped his wings, now he can fly. Now he's here.
Well, you clipped my wings and now I can fly?
Yeah, you gotta clip the
This metaphor doesn't make any sense, man.
You're like 14.
You're not sticking to your story. See, this is why we all understand what a false narrative you're trying to introduce here, because you can't stick to your story. Sure. It's clear this is a false narrative. Folks like and describe to disprove Messin's campaign of propaganda.
Right.
In fact, the way we met is, look, I was at kind of like a conference teaching people how to like just succeed in space. So Messin was there, obviously looking for guidance, and so I saw him. I saw he was in need. So I said, I'm going to take this guy under my wing. I'm going to teach him the ways. And you know what, man? I'm going to be serious for a second. I'm going to actually take off my glasses. You've grown so much under my
God. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You've grown so much.
Yeah.
Under my like leadership, under my supervision.
Right.
And I just want to say I'm proud of you, man. Keep at it. Just keep working and you'll get there. You'll get there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate. I
100%.
I was gonna say, no, I appreciate that, man. But enough with all the games, man. I don't even know how you guys are still listening to this whole live stream, man. To be honest with you.
Yeah, how did we get on this?
I don't even know.
I think someone might drink shades.
Okay, anyways, if you guys have any more questions, any charts you want to take a look at, let us know. This was Brendan's very weak portfolio. I still haven't really revealed mine because it's very highly sensitive. VIPs only get access to it. And all the freebies just go through Brendan for sure. But I actually want to comment on your shirt, man. Very nice shirt, to be honest. It's just, you're really, really rocking the shirt.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. Again, I hear this all the time, so it's just something I have to deal with. It's something I've just had to grow to kind of live with. And again, it speaks to all my fantastic attributes. Right? I'm highly humble, I'm highly knowledgeable, I'm highly talented. And again, I appreciate you pointing this out, but enough is enough, right? Like I don't want to hear it all the time.
Right.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What do we have here? What else you want to take a look at, man? I can still see here we got 90 people here. Make sure you like the live stream. If you guys have any questions, I guess it's more questions on us, man. How old are you, lads? Brendan is like 12.
I'm 17 and a half. Thank you.
I guess you're mentally he's at 12 years of age. Solana today. Let's you want to talk about
Man,
Solana?
sure, man. But just again, folks, like this just all comes down to the older generation hating on the youth. Whenever older folks see new lads, up and coming, good looking, knowledgeable, they get defensive, and so that's what we're seeing right now. Ultimately, I just want to let you know that I forgive you and
Right.
I understand, and that's what I have to say about that.
All right, man. Good to hear that, and I'm happy that you're happy. Whatever delusions you live in, I
Right.
fully support you. It's 2021.
Right. Yeah.
Can't really lie here, but
Yeah.
Solana.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Solana, yeah, no. Wow, I was saying people are actually mentioning projects here.
They are.
So
They are.
maybe we should take a look at
Yes,
Solana.
let's see this. Yes.
All right.
Solana
All
today.
right, and folks, just real quick, man. For those who don't know, we are kidding, folks. We like to be silly. Do not take the things we're saying as being serious. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no one's taking you serious. Trust me. No one can take you serious. Anyway, so Solana today. Okay, I actually can't see shit with this, man. All right, back at it. Okay, so today's price action for Solana. We're sitting at the $33, $33.30 or 40 cents, whatever you want to call it. Pretty, I guess. Still, look, all the charts look the same at the moment. You're seeing the same thing. Long term, it's been since May 19th. Since holy man, this thing dropped heavy. The day Bitcoin dropped. What do we have here? May 19th or May 19th. Let's see here. What do we have? Holy 54% within one day, and we're still ranging at the same range here. So overall, looks like we're still trying to find that support as well. For Solana, looks like we're fully following Bitcoin's price action. So nothing crazy here to say, but overall, ever since we've been downtrending since May 18th here, we saw the price action try to find that support at the 200 EMA exactly. As that the lowest point we got to here exactly at the $19 where the 200 EMA was at, and now we're still hovering above, trying to get back above that 55 EMA in my opinion. So again, all these EMAs are just fully pointing sideways, and we're currently above the 55. So again, we try to retrace back down. We're trying to find that support again today. We peaked all the way down to the $31.77 where that EMA is at. Past 3 days is the first day we actually got above it, came back to retest, and now we want to see if Bitcoin continues to go down, if Bitcoin doesn't really find that support, which Bitcoin is already at 32,900 at the moment.
Is it actually?
Yeah, we're still within that zone. So again, Solana is going to follow suit in my opinion. Yeah, if that doesn't really hold, we can easily, right now we're sandwiched between the 55 EMA, this yellow line, and the 100 EMA on the daily, $31 and the $34, and I guess if those don't hold, then look for a lower level at the 24. So it really depends on what Bitcoin does, and it depends if you're subscribed to this channel or not, man. Make sure you subscribe,
like and subscribe, folks. Yeah, because look, whether we're joking or not, if we're silly with each other, we're always bringing you guys the most critical stuff you need to look out for and consider if you want to know what's more and less likely. And so Solana, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd be buying right now. I mean, if you're holding for the long term, sure. Maybe not the perfect entry might not matter so much, but we're currently holding the 100 EMA on the daily. That's good to see. We might come down and retest it, given that we're seeing weakness on the lower time frames. Yeah. I mean, indicators aren't looking terrible, but what's worrying me is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is losing 33,000, and that's not good. You have an hourly candle closing within the next 6 minutes. Same with the 2 hours. So within the next 6.5 minutes here, we close below 33,000. Then it looks like we're breaking support, and Bitcoin could go for another leg down here. Again, folks, I'm concerned because we're going into a weekend. Weekends are typically bearish. DXY is pumping, bearish for Bitcoin. So, I mean, even though I've been buying the dip, if you're looking for good entries, maybe not the best time, man. With Bitcoin in the market, Bitcoin being bearish, Bitcoin losing support, DXY pumping, it just seems like we have more downside. We're going to a weekend. Just seems like we have more downside potential ahead of us. So again, we'll see if within the next 5 minutes we can hold 33,000. If we can, that's a good sign. Ultimately, we want Bitcoin to really solidify support, retest previous resistance, and hold it as support. In that case, we could feel more confident buying these alts.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's it for Solana. Hopefully that answered your question. While Tao saying sold yesterday, I will buy back lower. Yeah, could be a good thing here, man. Let's see how that plays out. Guys, if you have any more questions, any more charts for us to look at, we'll look at it right now. Let us know. Don't buy until the weekend. We're on a downtrend, I guess. Yeah, I would say just give it some time here, guys. The next couple of days or week, we could actually continue to go sideways here. So again, the longer we wait, or the longer buyers take to actually jump into the market, the more explosive that movement's gonna be. So let's see.
Yeah, I think Sunday, Monday is probably a better time to be buying. So I think I'm gonna probably wait out until then to buy anything more.
Right.
But yeah, man, look, from my end, that's pretty much it. We summarized the market pretty well. We got to look out for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is precarious as ever. We're constantly testing critical support levels. And guys, like this is the time to pay attention to this market because we're deciding the major inflection point. And let's say we do enter a bear market. Let's say we lose 30, we're going to 20. Folks, the bear market is where the vast majority of opportunity lies. Because look, you can make a 10x in a bull market, but you can make 100x in a bear market. So folks, you gotta stick around. We're sure shit not going anywhere. Like and subscribe because we're going to bring you guys the latest and greatest in cryptocurrency news and analysis every single goddamn day, as we've been doing for the last couple months.
Definitely. Some people are talking about bond. I see who asked for it here. Christopher Miller. I'm not sure if it's bond USD on Coinbase. If it's not, please let me know. Unless you're talking about Bondly. Right now, $38.26. Let me know in the chats before I start going in like really heavily in here. Is DAO open Monday? Why wouldn't it? Did you guys watch the AMA with Kusama? Did you watch the AMA with Kusama?
The AMA with Kusama?
Yeah, they had an AMA apparently.
Kusama's not a person, so I would find it very difficult to watch an AMA with Kusama. Kusama is a bunch of code existing on computers.
Wow. Okay, man. Sure. So I guess
Did you watch the AMA with
I did it, man. I guess I get. I suggest you look into Raptor Finance releasing Raptor Swap at the end of this first DEX, blah blah. Low price right now. This is probably a bot. Sorry if you're not, but you're probably a bot. But yeah, let's see. Yes, it's Banbridge or whatever. Okay, so perfect. This is it. Bond USD currently sitting at $38.55. I'm not sure if it's actually better to go somewhere else here for this because I don't really see much Bond USDC, Banbridge. Okay, Barnbridge. Yeah, perfect. So I guess this is it, man. We're looking at the daily at $38.47. Holy, okay. Right now, yeah, I guess on the daily we are at some sort of resistance. So we're seeing that retracement right now. Looks like that level here. Anything about the $50 level has been acting as a pretty well resistance. So overall, you can see we've been in that downtrend. We've been going down. And yeah, it's just, I guess, overall, just quickly looking at the chart here, we can see where that resistance has been well established in February. And recently here on June 22nd, we actually tried to push above and right away got met with a heavy price drop. So again, we're at a heavy resistance. We're not expecting to just fully break above that. Looks like on the daily here as well, we are gaining that momentum. You can see that happen in the past, we have a week or so. We got to the support, we're pushing. EMAs are right above us, so a lot of heavy resistance from this channel, this downtrend trend that we're having. And looks like the RSI right now looks like, which is good, but overall the RSI has been upticking, which is usually when it's coupled with some lower highs in price action and upticking in the RSI. Again, selling momentum overall has been decreasing overall since March 24th, you'll see here. So could be good. But again, you just need to break above this resistance. And yeah, that's it, man.
No, I agree. I agree mostly. Yeah, I don't have the chart pulled up on my end, but yeah, no, I agree. I think you summarized it up pretty well.
Yeah.
I know. So I see a good question here in the chat. So, Techno guy saying, what would you do if you had a bad entry? Just hold for long term, or sell at a loss and buy the dip. Do you have any approach to that, or should I take a swing?
Oh, you know my opinion on this, man. But go ahead first.
I actually no, but what I would say is first off, it's a deeply personal choice. There's pros and cons to each one, so you ultimately need to weigh the factors and come up with the best solution for yourself. Ultimately, for me, you know, if you can make the rent money, if you can afford to hold for the long term, there's not a need to realize a unrealized loss unless you absolutely have to pay bills or whatever the reason may be. Because look, unless you're an experienced trader, the more you're trying to time the market with a long-term portfolio, the greater risk you're introducing yourself. So look, if you do it once or twice, that's one thing. But if you're consistently trying to swing trade a long-term portfolio and you're a newer person, I mean, good luck to you. Personally, myself, I would, if I could hold for the long term, if I was financially able to without a problem, I would hold for the long term. It depends what you're holding to. If it's a quality project Ethereum, I would have no problem holding for long term. If you're talking about something like Doge or SafeMoon or some garbage that could be gone in a year, I might be more inclined to realize that loss and move on to something else.
Yeah. Actually, look, man. Overall, I don't think if you actually want to, try to, because trying to see if you're at a loss. Or look, I'm for protecting the money. Like this, in a nutshell, I want to protect my money. I'm not fully married to the whole, hodl idea. I've always been very critical of it. But then again, I understand because it's the only thing you can do. Why? Because the market is extremely volatile. Let's say I'm just looking at Cardano. I just pulled up anything here from the chart. Cardano, let's say you're somewhere here on these. Let's say anywhere in the middle of this price action. You actually got in somewhere here at $1.20. Within, let's say, what do we have here? 15 days, 2 weeks, you're down 20%. And if you actually sold more than 20%, the next day right after, it actually went back up to the 17%. Then if you waited a bit more, it actually continues to go up and continues to go up. So again, in the crypto space, it's extremely volatile to the point where unless you have some heavy, I guess, advanced technical analysis expertise, I'm not claiming to be an expert, but we do think that we can actually time certain key points in the market where that shift could be coming. And you're more likely than not should be leaving the market right now for the next, let's say, month or so or week or so. We do love to day trade a lot, and we do actually day trade a lot. So with that being said, the hodl, keep the, don't buy, don't sell until, whatever time here and hold strong. To me, I think is just because actually that's literally the only thing you can do unless you're willing to realize some gains, right? So unless you wanna losses, sorry. So, and that's the thing. But if you actually understand certain things and you see some key point shifts in the market, then no, I wouldn't say hold. I want to capitalize on that. If I see, let's say Bitcoin or something have a really high chance of dropping heavy soon, and I know how heavy it can drop, I don't want to stay on the market, man. So, but then again, that comes with you got to put a lot of effort and time into. If you don't know, then you got to listen to someone, which we know how. That's not like a thing. You have to listen to someone without really knowing their level of expertise, or you should actually take the time and understand what's going on.
100%. First of all, I think what would help you answer this question for yourself is because, look, me and Messin, we have a bit of a difference of opinion and approach. Is first of all, understand what you're invested in and why you liked it in the first place. Because, if you just bought something just because we mentioned it, some random YouTuber mentioned it, and now it's down and you don't know whether to buy or sell, well, I mean, first of all, at the end of the day, we all need to be responsible for our own decisions. We need to understand what we're buying. For example, I really like Decenter. I think I have a good grasp of what it is. I have Armor right here. Same with Armor. I've been buying Armor. The first time I bought Armor was like over $1. And every substantial dip, I've been buying the dip on Armor because I understand what it is. I understand its use case. I understand its potential. And so I feel comfortable holding through these corrections. And I actually see these corrections as opportunities to buy more. And that's exactly what I've been doing. Every major correction, I've been buying more. Because I think if and when the bull run comes back and more money comes into the space, insurance is going to seem more and more attractive. And this protocol pays you in the native token to buy insurance. So interesting idea, interesting concept. I have a confidence in this understanding. I have a confidence in what it would take for this thing to do well, which is the bull run pretty much coming back and more money coming into the space. That's a bet I'm willing to make. And so it's because I have an internal confidence and internal understanding of what this is, why I got in it in the first place. I feel comfortable holding through these dips. So ultimately, do whatever's best for yourself. Just, consider the different factors. really understand what you're invested in. Because if you know what you're invested in, know why you like it, you have confidence behind its fundamentals, you'll feel more confident making whatever decision is best for yourself.
Yeah, and one thing, man, too. I don't think we actually talked about that much even, but there's also you can use that volatility to your advantage, right? So let's just give an example. If you have like it's let's say $1,000 or $100, whatever you actually got, right? The volatility you can actually use that to your advantage, knowing that this thing is flippity flop on a daily basis. Even adding like there's so many different apps. Even I think on Coinbase and crypto.com and all that, where you can do recurring payments automatic, right? Whatever you want to involve, you actually want to buy. If you have that thousand, instead of putting that thousand right now being stuck or married to one price level and you're at a risk of it dropping, you're making, instead of having you'd have a recurring payments happen over the next month or so you can actually have a better average price overall. Again, it's just another way to use the volatility to your advantage, where you're not fully putting in your money exactly at one point where it goes up heavy, really making money, and if it goes down, you're really you can't really sleep properly. So that's the thing, dollar cost averaging. And if you don't know how to dollar cost average, I think it's, if you're new to crypto and you don't really you're kind of scared of that price action, which you should be, right? I think it's a good thing to be scared of this kind of price action. I don't think a lot of other channels, which is kind of sad, talk about just take a chill out for a bit. Yeah, maybe yes, we know you're excited to enter the space, and we know you're excited for whatever project you're in. Just take a bit of a second to just DCA, and just don't put like 100% of your buy power into this right now, knowing that it's so volatile. But then again, fear and greed actually drive the market, and they're so powerful to a point where they do make you stay at a loss, where you could either minimize your losses and actually cut that loss and look at something else, or they actually make you stay in the market for too long, where you're really pushing you're kind of you could have sold at a good top, but because you wanted it, or greed actually pushed you, you will kind of have lower profits. So that's what I'm saying. I think that also, if you really know what's going on and you don't really understand it much, the volatility, you can play around with more the automatic dollar cost averaging.
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of what you said, and I'm going to offer one critique, and you tell me if this is valid or not. But just first to touch upon agreement, again, if you're newer, stick to the basics. Keep it simple, stupid. Again, that's just a saying. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just saying the newer you are, the simpler strategy you should stick to, because the space is highly volatile. It's difficult to understand what affects what moves what. So if you're newer, still learning, still gaining that confidence, then definitely keep it simple. Dollar cost average into high quality project, high caps, things that have long-term staying potential. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Aave, whatever, BNB, whatever has long-term staying potential. Focus on high caps with quality. Makes a lot of sense if you're a newer person. Also, man, I will just add, and you let me know if this is valid or not. I would think it's interesting to consider that if you're a newer person and you're focusing on long-term investing, and again, for me, folks, my approach is you make a plan and you stick to it, and you clearly define what it would take for you to sell, what it would take for you to buy, your investment time horizons. You clearly define your approach to this market, and then you stick to that plan. So if I'm a long-term investor and I bought Ethereum at $4,000 and Ethereum's now at $2,000, should I sell? Should I realize that loss? Because look, Ethereum could go back down to 1900, and if I sell now, I can buy Ethereum cheaper. Well, man, for me, if you're a newer person, if you made a plan to have a long-term approach, I think it's dangerous to start trying to swing trade your long-term portfolio, especially if you're a newer person, because it is extremely difficult to time the market. I mean, we do this full time, and we find it difficult. And so if you're a new person, and you have a long-term strategy, and now all of a sudden you're looking to swing trade a long-term portfolio because you're spooked because it's down. I think once you start trying to swing trade a long-term portfolio just because you're down, I think that's dangerous. Because what if you don't call the bottom? What if you sell and it pumps? What if you sell and then it pumps and then you buy higher and then it crashes? look, it is hard to time the market. So that's why I think it's important to have a long-term portfolio, a swing trading portfolio. Just understand, your approach. Make a plan and stick to it. And so for me, trying to time things when it comes to your long-term portfolio smells to me like not sticking to a plan. And look, everyone's approach is different. Everyone's plan is different. But for me, if I make a plan to allocate a certain amount to a long-term portfolio, and then I start swing trading that portfolio just because I'm down in the short term, it just seems to me like not sticking to a plan. And you got to have a plan that you stick to if you want to be successful in this space, because this space is super volatile. And the way you protect yourself from that volatility is by having a plan.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And overall, I think the reason why people are asking that question is because obviously they want to be in the long term, but the fact that, let's say whoever bought in January, let's say you bought in January, February, March, let's say March at the peak, and now you're down, and you're looking at it, it's down 30, 40, 50%. Some others were down heavily. What do you do there? So I think even a long-term plan can also have some sort of a loss strategy to properly kind of, and it goes
100%.
back to the conversation we're having before. Should you invest in Bitcoin or no, right? Should you invest in like a Matic when Matic is going up? Because Matic dropped heavy. As much as it went really high up, Matic dropped a ton, while
Yeah.
Bitcoin, just kind of a bit stabilized a bit. Not heavy, that much of a heavy drop within a couple of days, right? So again, it depends on if it's money you can afford to lose or no. And it
Yeah.
depends on, look, if I put my money in right now, let me look at the chart and see how volatile is it. Within the 2 weeks, how high does it go and how low does it go? And if I look at it here and I'm seeing that, if I have my money in Cardano, for example, and within a week or 2 weeks, it actually jumped up something like this over here. If we saw it, let's say you bought here and it actually went, before you even buy, you're looking at it here. Look, if I saw something like this and it actually was at 98 cents and went 50% within a couple of days, and then it dropped again another, let's say 38% or 28% within no time here, then you should understand that, look, if you're not comfortable seeing a 30% pump and a 28% dump like that with no time, then maybe you should be looking at something where you shouldn't think of selling, or before you even get in, you should be okay seeing this drop 30% like it's nothing, right?
Yeah.
So looking at the chart to see what kind of volatility is there for you before you jump, because it's a valid question. If I'm at a loss, what should I do? Am I gonna wait for
100%.
3 years? If, let's say, like whatever in 2017, until I actually recover some of that. Long term, don't swing trade if you don't know what trading is. Don't swing trade or try to have some sort of stop loss if you don't know what trading is. I think you need to put more of a stop loss if you don't know what trading is. And if you're not comfortable seeing that drop in that.
But
I'm repeating myself, but you get the point.
Trading and investing is a different conversation, though.
It is,
Right?
yeah.
I think he's referring. Oh, and maybe we're presuming this, but for the person who said I bought in January, which is basically the peak. Let's assume Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
Let's assume you bought Ethereum at $4,000. Now it's at $2,000. Should you buy? Should you sell? Number one, are you trading or are you investing? Trading and investing are two very different things. Number two, everyone should have a plan and stick to it, and the plan for different people are going to be different. Look, if you can hold for the next 3 to 4 years, which is next bull cycle is like to be 2024, 2025, 3 to 4 years to the next cycle, if we're in our bear market now, likely at least, are you prepared to hold years? Can you pay the bills? Can you be very financially stable for years if you had to? In that case, again, if you have a long-term outlook, maybe it makes sense to hold, because again, my thing when it comes to making a plan and long-term investing, if you bought at 4,000 to long-term invest, and all of a sudden now you're trying to become a swing trader and time the market because you're down, it just seems to me like you don't know what you're doing, and you're buying and selling based off your emotions in the short-term volatility. And that's a recipe for disaster. Folks, this market is highly volatile. And so before you come into this market, you need to understand what approach you're taking. Am I a swing trader? Am I a day trader? Am I a long-term investor? Clearly define what you're looking to achieve, your investment time horizons, what you're looking to allocate to long-term and short-term, and stick to that plan. Because having a plan, and again, for each person, your plan can be different, will help you hold through these dips. Because again, if you're a long-term investor buying at 4,000 and now you're looking to sell at 2,000 because we're down. Well, I mean, now you're trying to be a swing trader, and what? Now you're trying to time the market. And you brought up a good point. If we do enter a bear market, Ethereum could go to $1,000, it could go to $500. And so selling right now, yeah, you would, save yourself a lot of losses. But what if we don't fall then? If you sell right now, you're becoming a trader. You're trying to time the market.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about long-term investing is that the benefit of long-term investing is that short-term volatility doesn't matter. And so for me, buying at 4,000 and selling at 2,000, if you're a long-term investor, again, this is not financial advice, folks. It's just my approach. What's right for me could be wrong for you. You need to come up with what's best for yourself. But if you're being a long-term investor at 4,000, but all of a sudden you're trying to become a day trader or a swing trader at 2,000 because you're realizing a loss, first of all, you're not going to be a good trader. Because if you were an investor at 4,000 and a trader at 2,000 because you're down, you by definition do not know what it takes to be a successful trader, because investors don't really give a fuck about short-term volatility. Traders do. Traders trade these movements and these ranges and these breakouts. So if you're trying to sell at 2,000, that all of a sudden tells me you're trying to become a trader, and trading successfully is extremely difficult. So again, like swing trading, trying to time this market should only be for people that are really confident in their technical analysis understanding, because if you're not, you're going to end up making bad calls eventually. Because to time this market, you need to have a really strong confidence in your own understanding of technical analysis. And so if you're an investor at 4,000 and all of a sudden you're trying to become a trader at 2,000, it's a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. And so given that we don't know if we're going to go up over the next 6 months or down over the 6 months, having a long-term investment strategy will mitigate that potential risk of the unknown if we don't know what's happening. So bottom line, just kind of summarize here, make a plan and stick to it. Don't do what I say just because I say something. Make a plan that makes sense for you. Stick to a plan that makes sense for you. Clearly define what it will take for me to sell, what it will take for me to buy, how long I'm willing to hold, what portfolio allocation. If you got to pay the bills, folks, pay the bills. You got to, you got to feed your kids. You got to keep the lights on. You got to pay the rent. Make sure you take care of yourself. That comes number one. But with that being said, if you can afford to hold through a correction, in my opinion, if you're a long-term investor, there's not a lot of need to realize unrealized losses, because if you do realize those losses, now you're a trader, now you're a swing trader, and that's fine, but now you're doing a completely different thing. Swing trading and investing are very different things. So if you're an investor at 4,000, now you're trying to become a trader at 2,000, they're two completely different skill sets. And so if you are trying to be a trader and time the market, just understand that it's a completely different skill set, and you need to be very confident in your understanding of technical analysis if you're trying to time the market in the short term. Because if you're not confident in your understanding of technical analysis, you will end up making bad calls. And so I know that's a long-winded rant, but I'm doing my best to really tackle this conversation because it's a very, very good question. There's not a clear answer. Hopefully, providing our perspective, you do get an interesting outlook.
100%. And that's the thing. I fully agree, right? I fully agree. If overall, I guess when that question gets asked, should I sell at a 20% loss or no? That's the whole thing that started the question. If you're new to the space, I think your best bet is the DCA. I think your best bet is that at least your entry, like having a good entry is also very important. And the only way you can do that if you're new to the space, crypto on its own, let alone actually knowing what trading is or having, dollar cost averaging in, I think that's probably your best bet, right? Dollar cost average, so you can have a better overall average price entry, and also only invest money that you don't care about losing. That's also going to give you more confidence. So those are the two things I think. So yes, if you don't know what trading is, if you don't know how to draw, I guess, simple resistance and support lines or whatever the case might be, if you're getting into the space and you're thinking about selling at 20% loss, 20% losses happen here within literally hours.
A
right?
day, yeah. Oh, in minutes,
It's
yeah.
the wild west of this. So yes, if you're new, you need to hold. And if you want to hold better and be more confident about it, you got a dollar cost average, and you got to put money that you don't really care about losing. And I think that's pretty, I think we both agree on that.
Yeah. And look, I don't think there's a perfect answer to this question. I think every individual person needs to understand their situation and make a decision based off what's best for their individual situation, because my situation and your situation could be different. So we need to tailor our strategy to what's best for
Yeah,
ourselves.
because I'm a
You know,
billionaire, right? So I
right.
you know, I gotta work around that.
Right, exactly right. And what's best for me might not be best for you. Ultimately, I think what gives us greater clarity and greater confidence is just understand, just form a strategy, folks. Like, again, we like to mention a lot of stuff, but it's super important to have a sense of what you're looking to achieve in a strategy. Know how long you're willing to hold. Know how much money you're willing to put in. Know what it would take for you to take profits. Know what it would take for you to sell. Create a plan and stick to it. Know what you're buying, know what you're invested into, because if you know what you're holding, then you'll have the confidence to potentially hold through dips. Understand that cryptocurrency is the most volatile asset class in the world, and we have 50% pullbacks like it's nothing on the biggest market cap coins in the space. Super, super volatile. Understand that if you do hold, Bitcoin, Ethereum could correct 50% more. Understand that if you do hold, it could go to Bitcoin could go to 100,000, Ethereum could go to 10,000, or it could crash 50%, 80% more. Understand that these two situations are both very, very possible. And so if you're entering the space, enter it with the knowledge that this is the most stupidly volatile asset class in the world. And that's why there's that opportunity. There's this opportunity for 10x's, 100x's because of the volatility. But that volatility is very, very real. And it's possible we could drop 50, 60% further in our years of correction consolidation. With that being said, we are on the right side of history. We are on the right trade. And it's just a matter of time if you're holding quality before you're right. But just understand that time could be 3 months, could be 6 months, could be 3 years before you're right. I don't know. You don't know. But the longer your investment time horizon, the less your potential risk. Because one of the greatest risk factors when it comes to crypto is your investment time horizon. Because yes, the short term is super volatile, but the long term trend, even if we look at all the cycles, the long term trend is clear. Super macro higher highs and higher lows over the years. So if you're willing to hold over the years, corrections over the next, within a couple months, start to not matter as much.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree here. We have Brandon Payne. Thank you for the $5 donation. Saying, is Elon calling baby Doge doo-doo, or is he jumping ship to baby Doge? Oh, so there's actually like a baby Doge coin now?
Guys, all these meme coins are garbage. They have very little long-term staying potential. We have got to realize that Elon Musk is a rich billionaire that's bored, and instead of going golfing, he's choosing to mess with people's life savings. And so Elon Musk doesn't give two shits about you. He's flooded the market and caused Bitcoin to crash and liquidate people and cause people to realize losses. And he's hurting a lot of real people due to being due to not approaching things the most optimal way. And he's a smart person. He knows exactly the consequences of his actions. And so I wouldn't put any stock in anything Elon Musk says. He's just a rich person having fun at your expense. So I definitely would not touch anything he supports with a 10-foot pole, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency, because when he speaks about it, he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, I would confidently say that I probably know more about charting and maybe some aspects of cryptocurrency than Elon. I know he's a very smart guy, and I know he knows a lot, and I know he's been in crypto for a while. But with that being said, he's a bit of a Bitcoin maximalist. And at least he's expressed some of those thoughts. And so me and Elon, from the little I've heard him talk about crypto, do seem a little bit philosophically at odds. And because he's been very on, he hasn't approached the space in the best possible way at people's expense. I don't like him, and I wouldn't touch anything he mentioned. So, and meme coins are garbage. So that's what I have to say about that.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
That's,
Do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, I agree and disagree with certain things, to be honest with you. Big time.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I wouldn't blame him. I don't think he's the reason people are losing money. I think people are the reason people are losing money. I think,
sure.
The fact that that's like blaming Elon, I feel like is like it's like your wife cheats on you and you go blame the other guy for it. right? Like I think the people in the crypto space are the ones that are following what he's saying, and they're giving him all that.
Yeah.
But again, to wake people towards it, like I wouldn't like I don't blame him. I think it's more like pay attention to it, and the crypto space, whoever's selling and buying that, you shouldn't be buying Doge, right? So that's what we agree on. I don't think you should be buying Doge. I do think he's a smart person. I think he
Yeah,
understands
he's
how.
obviously a smart person. It
Yeah,
doesn't make him a good person.
uh, I don't think it necessarily makes him a good or bad person talking about
Yeah.
Dogecoin, to be honest with you, because
That's wasn't what I was referring to, but yeah, go ahead.
sure, but like, overall, like everyone's hating on him. You should hate the crypto space. You should hate the crypto space for that. You should hate the communities built on that kind of stupid, the trends. I don't think he's the. I think he brought up some good points about Bitcoin. About sustainability, about
Yeah.
adoption. I think
Yeah.
that's he at the end of the day he's the one that started PayPal. This digital payment online. So we do gotta. I do think he has points on certain things, but this right here, like whatever about babe, like, I don't know. I guess the question is just since that, and I think it's a good topic to talk about. I don't think we should fully just dismiss what he's saying, but then again,
No.
we should 100% blame, in my opinion, the crypto space for it. But I guess that's what they're asking: is Elon calling baby Doge doo doo, or is he? I don't even know what's going on here. Like I don't know.
He's trolling again,
He's
guys.
clearly trolling. Like I don't know.
We're
Like
trying to find some deep meaning.
you
This is a
can't.
rich guy who is bored and is choosing to have fun with people's life savings. Look, man, you're look again. I feel I have to jump in here because you're saying a lot. I feel that you're correct in the sense that ultimately people are responsible for their own decisions. And if you enter this market, you accept the risk of some random billionaire being able to move this market, and ultimately it's on you. There is risk in this market, and if you choose to enter it, the decisions you make are ultimately on you, not on Elon. And Elon can choose to criticize something if it just so happens to lose people money. It's the people's responsibility. You got in, you're anticipating. You have to accept certain risk, and if that risk manifests, that's ultimately on you. And so I agree with you there, but I think I disagree with you, man, in the fact that Elon Musk is choosing to go about things inartfully and trolling. It's like he's not offering like legitimate criticism. No, he's trolling Bitcoin and fudding Bitcoin and driving the price down when we're at super critical levels. And he is a smart person. He's been around in the space. He knows what crypto is. He knows the consequences of his actions. He knows that there's people, normal people, poor people, middle class people, rich people who've put their life savings into Bitcoin, and he knows that he's trolling and causing the price to go down. And so he's accepted that he's okay with causing the price to go down and affecting people's life savings. And he's making a choice to go about things inartfully and troll. And he knows the consequences of that action. He's not a dumb person. He knows that when he trolls, it causes the price of Bitcoin to go down, and people get spooked, sell, and yes, it's on them, but ultimately he's affecting real world people, and he's making the decision to do so. When he makes his tweets, he's not providing super legitimate criticisms, although he has done that. He often is just trolling. It's an unnecessary thing to do. He's choosing to troll a financial market, which is negatively affecting people's life savings, and so because of that, I think he's choosing to be a shitty person.
I wouldn't say he's a shitty person, man. To be
No,
honest with you,
okay. Maybe I need to
yeah,
rephrase. Maybe I wouldn't
like I
say
wouldn't say he's a.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
say he's a shitty person. Perhaps I would say he's doing a bit of a shitty thing.
it is
You know,
100%.
you can do a shitty thing and still be a great person. Like
But
you
like,
can
look, I'll be honest with you. We gotta take responsibility. If you put your money
100%.
in Doge,
Yes.
take the responsibility that it dropped. I don't
No,
like to blame someone else for my wrongdoings.
I'm not blaming
No, no,
him, but
no, not you. I know where you're standing, but I think the whole crypto space. If we're talking about people's life savings, and he chose to do that, he can choose to do whatever the hell he wants. He can but like you don't like a lot of projects, and you
no,
openly talk about but it's not him. He says whatever the hell he says. That's
no.
it. It's not like I don't think he like I wouldn't say again. Sorry, like you had something to say here, but I wouldn't say he's a shitty person. I think the crypto, like a majority of the crypto space, is ignorant regarding certain things, and that maturity hasn't yet to come to the space. Because not only just him, he's not. There's everybody else is talking about certain things. He has obviously more of a effect on it, and I think I just want the crypto pace to actually own what's happening here, and maybe there's more of a awareness that we actually need to bring up more and more. And I think it's good for us to actually talk about this, because yes, if whoever lost money in this, accept it. You shouldn't be putting your money in something you don't understand, and that's why he is. I guess whatever he's doing is affecting the market. But then again, a lot of people made money from him as well. Would you say that's something that, like, we should frown upon as well? Some people put in money and he just brought it to attention, Dogecoin, and now people made millions off of that. Poor people that actually put in some money. Would we say that's, oh, he's an amazing person for that? And when he started talking about Bitcoin initially, it actually caused that pump back in January. Everybody loved him. But now, because he's saying something, that's off, now everyone's just jumped the boat and now they're hating him. Now, if he says something good, are we going to get back? That's what I hate, because just stop paying attention to him. That's pretty much it.
Look, I agree with you on certain things, and ultimately, everyone needs to take personal responsibility for their decisions. Ultimately, Elon's not forcing you to buy Bitcoin. You made that decision for yourself. You're accepting the risk in this market. I agree with you there. I think I need to rephrase and correct myself in saying Elon Musk is a shitty person. Look, people are complex. People are not all bad, and people are not all good. People can be bad and do good things. People can be good and do bad things. People are complex. So maybe I'm incorrect calling him a shitty person. I do believe he's doing shitty things by ignoring people's financial health to have some fun. So he's having fun at the expense of people's life savings. And I do think that is a shitty thing to do, because he understands the consequences of his actions. He's not trolling some celebrity where there's no financial repercussions. He's not dumb, man. He knows what happens when he trolls Bitcoin. The price goes down. He does it at critical inflection points. He's not stupid. And so given that he has made the decision to troll Bitcoin, knowing that the price will go down, he is accepting that people that have their money in Bitcoin will either lose unrealized gains or sell and lose money. And I do believe that is a shitty thing to do, because look, you can offer criticism. Look, ultimately, people should be allowed to criticize things. Like, look, he could criticize some company and the stock price could go down. That's not his fault. So ultimately, people need to take responsibility for their own decisions. But at the same time, I do believe that it is a shitty thing, given that he knows the consequences of his actions, that people are losing money due to his tweets, and he continues to do it. And look, man, you should be allowed to have criticism and should be able to criticize something. Just look, he could criticize Google. And let's say the price of Google goes down and people lose their savings. Does that all of a sudden make him a shitty person? Maybe the answer to that is a bit subjective, because I would lean towards, if you have legitimate criticism, then it's more valid. If you're just kind of trolling, it does seem like you're causing people to lose money and you're not really gaining anything yourself. But ultimately, that's a subjective call to make. So again, man, look, maybe I shouldn't be too quick to label him, because anyone has the freedom to criticize anything, and he could criticize Google, and if it makes the price go down, is that really on him? Maybe not. At the same time, I do feel a little bit conflicted in what I feel about him, because I know that he knows, because he's not dumb. I know he knows the consequences of his actions, and I know he knows that when he does this, people are losing money, and regular people, and it's a bit crass when him as a billionaire is super flippant about the savings of everyday people, because to him it's not going to make a difference, but to a lot of people his tweets are going to make a real difference. And so at the very least, I do think he's being careless. Maybe that's the best way to criticize Elon, is that it does seem to be a bit careless, and maybe I should think a little bit more about how I label people, and shouldn't be so quick to throw labels on people.
Yeah, I would say, like, so yeah, that's the thing. Like, if again, it's the crypto space, right? It's the crypto space, and whether it being whatever adjective you want to put up his personality, at the end of the day is very subjective, right? So that's the thing. I just say, for all these losses, let's just not blame him. Let's just blame the people. Like, we take ownership of that. In terms of whatever we think about him, man, if you want us to think he's a shitty person, he's a shitty person, like, pretty much. But whatever the case might be.
Maybe I'm wrong to label that. Maybe I'm too
And that's
again, people are complex. People are complex. Again, I try to clarify my position. I don't want to be married to that statement because again, people are complex, and I believe I'm wrong, and I retract that.
People disagree though in the chats. They're pretty blunt about what they think about Elon. But man, I see again, Brendan Payne. Thank you for the $5 donation. He asked the question again. Overall, to answer your question, we don't really know what's going on. So I appreciate the donation. I guess you just got the scoop of what's happening. We don't know what Baby Doge is. We don't know what's been happening with Doge. Too mainstream for us. Not really fully representing the crypto space. I think fundamentally there's a lot better things than that. And yeah, so in terms of you want to refer to this tweet, just because I guess Brendan asked again, Brendan Payne, as in wants to read this is the tweet he's talking about Baby Doge, whatever this is. Maybe it's talking about Baby Shark song. I don't care. I don't know what it is. I don't think you should too. And if that's what you're paying attention to, then you should be very careful. So that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, and look, I think these meme coins are really a waste of time. They could be gone next year. They have super little fundamentals, therefore highly dubious long-term staying potential. And so look, if you're just trying to have some fun, or if you're looking at it as a trade, yeah, you can make money on a pump and dump. You can make money on a trade. But if you're trading, if you're swing trading, you don't marry the coin, you don't give a shit about the fundamentals. You're just looking to make a quick in and out. That's a different discussion than investing, long-term investing. If we're talking about long-term investing, these meme coins are a total waste of time because they have very little long-term staying potential, and the vast majority of these meme coins are going to be gone in 3 to 5 years. So again, if you're looking to trade, swing trade, move a pump and dump, just make some quick money, that's a different conversation. If we're talking about investing, these meme coins, any meme coin is a complete waste of time.
Definitely. You see someone else here also donated €1, I guess, €2. Thank you for the donation. What do they got here? Best ROI, Link, Dot, or Theta. What do you think, man?
Well, look, I would say typically speaking, the lower the market cap, the higher ROI. Now, that's typically speaking. You brought up 3 projects that I think are super, super solid, all in different niches. So it's super, super difficult, in my opinion, to call that because they're in 3 different niches, about the same market cap. They're doing different things. So it would, at the end of the day, be a personal call. Again, typically speaking, not always. The lower the market cap, the greater return on investment. I think all those 3 projects you mentioned have long-term staying potential. So if I had to pick one, I'd go with either Chainlink or Polkadot. I would flip a coin.
I would say the same thing. I would say Polkadot overall. Chainlink is definitely something, it's going to really affect the whole crypto space, but Polkadot, especially with everything going on, I would probably pick Polkadot for sure. Again, what else we have? There could be a mass exodus. BCH has even. Man, we're pushing 2 hours. We're 2 hours and a half.
Whoa, we're 2 now. Yo, I think this is our longest live stream, folks.
That's crazy.
Like and subscribe. Hit that like button because we were supposed to go 1 hour.
That's
and
crazy.
So, yeah, guys, we've been talking for 2.5 hours. You're supposed to go an hour, folks. Like and subscribe. Smash that like button if you like us, want to support us. Easiest way to do so is to hit that like button because the more likes we get, more likely YouTube is to recommend the live streams, recommend the channel, and more people get to watch this kind of content. So if you like our back and forth, definitely smash that like button for sure.
100%. But man, I guess we can probably also wrap up here, unless you got something else.
You think so? We go for another 2.5 hours.
That's great. I didn't even notice, to be honest. But guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. This has been fun. Hopefully if all goes well, let's see what's gonna happen with Bitcoin here soon. So make sure you stay tuned. If you want daily updates, also check out our VIP Discord, check out our Discord group. If you want to support us on Patreon as well, link is in the description below. And man, I need more water.
You do need more water. You dehydrate. Yeah.
Anyways, man. So I guess we're good to go, man.
Folks, look, if you like, our back and forth as much as I did, like and subscribe and hit that bell icon when notified of little bells. Because look, me and Messin, I think we have, interesting different disagreements, differences of opinions sometimes, kind of different perspectives. We go at things a different way sometimes. And I love exploring those differences. I hope you guys enjoy them too. I personally love our back and forth. I mean, I always learn more and always
Same here, man. Same here.
Get a sense of different perspectives. And look, man, I can sometimes be confident in my ways, and so I really like someone who we have some different perspectives, different agreements and approaches, because it forces me to think and consider my opinions, and I love doing that. So hope you guys appreciate that as much as I do. Hopefully we'll be have the opportunity to do that more moving forward. Ultimately, we've been going 2.5 hours, so you guys who've been watching are absolutely fantastic. You guys are the best. Like and subscribe. If you want more of us, which I mean, we're going for 2.5 hours. I don't know how much more of us you guys want, but if you do, check out our Patreon. Link for that is down in the description below. Folks, become a VIP Discord member. We're constantly posting tons of great resources and great stuff in that, so definitely check that out. Link for the Patreon is down in the description below. Definitely go check it out. Enough talking from me. I'll throw it back to you, man.
That's it, man. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you stay, safe, stay smart, stay hydrated, and that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. I had to bring the shades out, man. I had to bring the shades out.
I got to bring the shades back too. Hold on. Don't end it. Don't end it.
All right. Let's go. What a douche.
Is the chain out? Yeah, it's out. All right, folks.
What kind of chain is that? You wanna pop it?
It's solid gold, man. It's like solid gold. I didn't want to make you like feel bad, right? But
yeah.
It is what it is.
Definitely.
It is what it is. So, folks, look, keep it cool. Keep it above board.
You can't give wisdom looking like
things.
That, man. Like, we can't.
Keep things saucy. And again, I know because Messin, he's so new to the space. I constantly need to be teaching him stuff, and that's okay. I mean, he's growing. He'll learn eventually. Ultimately, folks, just focus on style. Focus on material things. Make decisions based off your emotions, and use our bybit link, because everyone wins leverage trading. Link for that is down the description below. I'll throw it back to you, man. Hello?